Chat. Chad Hermes is being mean to me, and by mean to me, I mean he's trying to eat my soup, which I worked very hard on to be healthy. I cooked dinner for myself. I was a functioning member of society, and now my dog. Apparently, a girl can't eat soup in her own home anymore because of woke. Okay, I can't. It's funny. God, who was it? Was it Scootish that said I would be a really good right wing grifter? I don't know who it was. I think it was Scootish. And I don't think he's wrong, but I would have to commit in a way that I feel like is not feasible anymore. You know, I feel like if I ever, real talk, I do feel like if I just died, Hermes, chill out. Get out. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. If I do go blonde again, ever, chat, you guys gotta put me on like right wing watch, okay? Because I was still as woke as I am now while I was blonde, if not woker now, you know. But I do think that I will get one image of myself in the mirror and immediately be like, God, think of the money I could make. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, it would be so easy to get them, you know? And it's not even like I would believe in any of this shit. It would purely be driven by greed. Like, it would purely be motivated by money. And I do feel like the capitalism goblin would like a green goblin mask would get me. You know what I'm saying? You were blonde. I am a natural blonde. I was born blonde. I was blonde until I was 16 when I started dyeing my hair dark. Hi. And when my hair grows in, it grows in extremely white. So I do think I would still be blonde. Because sometimes in adulthood, a lot of adults don't maintain their blonde. It goes away and it like fades into a brown or like a dishwater blonde as they call it. But my hair grows in a way that I feel like I look like I'm balding. So I do think I'd still be fairly blonde if I just let it grow out naturally. But I would look crazy for months. I don't know what. If I had no morals or like goals long term or like a soul, I could make so like God. What was I did see someone say a video the other day where someone literally made a video that was like, "Thank you so much, Moonrise, for subscribing. You won the Swell. You won the Swell Grand Prix. Thank you for subscribing." To anyone else? I didn't miss any other ones. Okay, good. No. I saw a video where it was like, "Hey, being a good person is keeping you broke." And like literally from the perspective of like, yeah, if you want to be a business person, you do have to kind of occasionally do shit that's like, it's not like a crime, but like it's a little shitty, you know? And I don't disagree, but I do not like it. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I like the job that I have, which is just me talking to a camera. And I mean, you could argue I lie from time to time in pursuit of safety with videos and things like that, like when I'm at an event. So you could argue maybe not everything's copacetic over in the House of Swell, but still, you know. Tells me I'm well spoken. I imagine the premium healthcare. Oh God. So. My dad loves to throw in my face. He's like, it's so funny to me that like a few years ago, he was your boy, talking about Elon Musk. And I was like, he was never my boy. But if you're talking about the left, yes, before he found Nazism, he was a fairly progressive dude. So of course, the Dems liked him. That's how life works. If my best friend started doing the Nazi salute, I'm gonna beat the shit out of her. You know, like that's really how it works. Like I learned new information and my opinion changed. That's how life works. That's called being an adult. That's called sometimes people are shitty and it takes money to show that, you know? It's kind of like when we see like streamers, okay, or like any creator. I won't just do streamers in this one, any creator, because there's a lot of YouTubers that did this shit too. You know, like streamers and creators that like they were just like playing Minecraft, and then like years down the line into their fame, we found out that they were psychotic groomer psychos. And it's like, yeah, they were really technically always like that. or they like the money made them think they could get away with that shit, you know, and then they started doing it. But in theory, they always wanted to do that, you know. Like I do think to some capacity, because Elon Musk comes from like an emerald mined empire, okay, I do think there was always a part of his brain that wanted to exert his whiteness over others. I do believe that, you know. I think it just became apparent once the money came around and he stopped being like this like weird indie darling, you know. He called someone a PDF over that soccer team. Didn't he? See, again, he used to do this shit. This is where he lost me. Like for early days before shit happened, okay? The early days shit where he started losing me, where I was like, oh, you're a useless fuck, is he would tweet out how easy it would be for him to fix something with his money, or hey, we're getting on this, and then he never did shit. He has promised to clean up Flint's water like numerous times and never did shit, you know? Like the same thing with that soccer team. He was like, well, we could do that, and then never did shit. It's really easy to tweet shit. Okay, Hermes, with love, get out of that suitcase. Hi. Stop. Okay. That was the shit that was driving me insane. And then later I was like, oh, this explains everything. You want to be seen as a good person. You don't want to do good things. That explains, because you think poor people and non-white people are beneath you. Oh my God, it makes so much sense now. See, it's like, it's not like it's like a flip switch. It's like the pieces come together. You know what I'm saying? And now I have a full picture, and the picture is a Nazi, okay? Okay. Yeah. He's just watching me snuffleupagus at my suitcase with freebies in it. So, yes, I've seen all the stuff of the state fair. We talked about it very briefly yesterday. I wasn't there, obviously. Probably not going to make a video just because so much of the footage that I've seen, I think I've only seen one person. Like, it's hard when it's hard when I'm not at an event because I need such a wide amount of footage for me to make a proper picture. The picture I have is that no one attended, you know, like there was a very small crowd. And so like I can make my own conclusions from the footage, but there's not much that I'm going to be able to say that no one else has said. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to be able to add something like, oh, hey, this is why this didn't happen. Here's this issue. Here's my opinion of this. This White House is a sham White House. So of course they put on a sham event. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing groundbreaking for me to add, you know? Even as the event chick, I don't think there's anything relevant for me to add other than, yeah, they didn't advertise this shit, so no one went. I do think that he can, if he truly advertised this, if they put money behind this, I do think they would have sold more tickets. I think they just assumed that people would figure it out because it's the White House, you know? Hermes, hey, that's not for you. Stop. Okay, let me zip this up. Maybe that's the move. Because you can't be trusted. Okay. There we go. He can't be trusted. God, so much of Twitter is just people making like fan art of Valco. Being like, they massacred my boy. It's very funny. Hermes, what are we doing? Let's chill out. What else? Oh, did you guys see the couple that climbed like the Empire State Building or something to like put out I didn't like the stunts like this. Like if you're not going to do a free Palestine, like I kind of don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you to actually make a statement. Just saying love is important. A banner that boils down to love will save us all. I'm so fucking sorry. This is not a movie. Like, I want you to actually say something. You know what I'm saying? However, the fact that they did it as a couple and then he proposed on top of the building, that's cunt. And you know what? That did move me. Her taking selfies and photos with the ring on top of a building is the chicest shit I have seen in my life. That's when you know someone matches your freak. Hermes, get the fuck down. Hi. Enough. Like, that's a freak match that I can applaud, you know? Like, we can only hope to find love like that one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know, I'm like, they're now in custody. She got maybe one of the sickest photos of an like, no engagement photo is gonna, announcement photo on Instagram is gonna top that. I think she posted it from the top of the building. Also cunt, okay? She did that shit. She climbed that shit with engagement, with an engagement manicure. Cunt, okay? Like that's so sick, okay? So yeah, you know what? Your love banner. I can maybe get behind it because you did do the thing of love, of getting engaged on top of the building, and you know what? I kind of respect that. I respect that. You got me. You got me. But see, if it was just the banner, I'd be like, don't waste my fucking time. You know, what are we doing? What are we doing? Spider-Man could be saving a child from a burning building right now. Instead, he's trying to make sure that you guys don't die. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, like, the proposal sells it. The proposal sells it. Let's do something. There's also a documentary about them. They've done, like, campaigns. Like, there's a documentary about them for, like, the fact that they, like, it's literally, like, tops of buildings, a love story or some shit. Like low-key, this is a movie. like, this is iconic. Like, I respect it. Yes, I saw the Cadillac 4th of July livery. I can't wait to see that car do 14 laps before retiring. So, you know, Hallmark movie material. No, Hallmark would butcher that. They'd be like, he would be like climbing trees and shit. It's not the same. Oh my god, they're making a Siren Head movie? Wait, actually? Is this real? There's no way. Enjoy Telemundo. Did you see that? Let me know if Bosnia kicks our asses, because that'd be extremely funny to me. Yep, it's real. It's like fall 2022, except no one died. Climbing green screens, lol, exactly. Oh my god, they're actually doing the Taylor Swift wait, guys, I'm so fucking serious. Is Taylor Swift getting married in Madison Square Garden? How real are those rumors? Everything I've seen is now looking real. Allegedly, she's building a castle inside of it. Which, side note, with her money, she could rent out fucking Buckingham Palace if she wanted to. So, like, this might be one of the tackiest weddings of all time. I am intrigued by it. Is this just to accommodate the guest list? Because if they have, like, a massive, massive, massive fucking wedding, yeah, do it. Get an actual castle. Get a ballroom, you know? But Madison Square Garden might be one of the tackiest locations I've heard of. And yes, I have seen wedding designs inside Madison Square Garden. I don't give a shit. It's the tackiest, tacky. I find it so tacky. her event. Honestly, she might. She'll release the wedding album version of her song, whatever playlist she plays of her music. Hermes, I hear you. Fuck off. He's being a menace. Like, frankly, I am of the opinion. I mean, I love a small wedding, to be fair. Like, I will be eloping. If I do ever get married, I am fully an eloper, and then I'll have a party. And the party, the reception, you can have as big as one as you want. But unless it's like your culture, okay? Like, culturally, I understand. Certain cultures, they love a big wedding. They love a big party. A lot of families are very, large. I understand that. But I think if it's not your culture, I think it's tacky to have a massive wedding, Like, especially so many celebrities have, like, really, like, small weddings because they want to keep shit private, okay? And so they want it to be intimate. Like, yeah, you may see me with X, Y, and Z, but only G actually knows me. So she's coming to the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of thing I think is so chic, where it's like, yeah, you've got maybe in total 100 people there between both of you, and they're both famous. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that 100 people is a small wedding, but you get my point. Like, think about it this way. Do you know how crazy it is that we have not gotten a single leaked photo of Tom and Zendaya's wedding? Do you know how fucking insane that is? You know why we haven't gotten any photos? Because their circle is their actual circle. It's not just like, here's what's on Twitter. Here's not just who I've said hi to at, a carpet. Like, that's their actual circle. They're literally trying to keep the public outside with like blackout tarps of Madison Square Garden. And someone said, please respect our privacy as we hold our wedding in one of the busiest neighborhoods in North America. No, especially because her Rhode Island house is stunning. Okay? It's gorgeous. It's maybe one of the most beautiful houses. It's one of the smartest decisions she's ever done, frankly, is buying that property. Okay? And getting married there would be so chic and romantic. It would be lovely. They could do so much to that property for the wedding. It would be great. It's a beautiful home. It's massive, okay? To do it in Madison Square Garden tells me they have a guest list of 400. Like, I am still of the opinion she's not walking down the aisle, by the way. I do think that she is a runaway. That is my prediction, just so we're clear. Mainly because even after the engagement, in some of the interviews she did, I was like, oh, this girl's not marrying him. I was like, oh, she's talking about this like it's like a future thing that's not happening to her right now. Any fiance, okay, that is not talking about the wedding as if it's tomorrow, okay, and like she's saying yes tomorrow, I think is a bad sign. I am of the opinion, like, see, for example, if someone proposes to me, if I wouldn't walk down the aisle the following day, I'm saying no. Because I think we have this issue a lot where some people, rather than saying no and having that awkwardness, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not ready, but like maybe in like a year from now when we actually do get married, I'll be ready. Like I think men do this too. I don't think it's just women. And I think that's deeply unhealthy. And that's why people are also anti-divorce now, which is a weird thing. And so my whole thing, it's like, if you propose to me, I don't care how long we've been together. If you propose to me and if I'm one, super fucking surprised, i.e., I had zero indication that you were proposing, or you started acting so different that the proposal immediately tipped me off, i.e., we never go on dates and suddenly you're planning shit. I would never be in a relationship like this, but alas, if I'm completely taken off guard that you proposed, probably a bad sign, okay? Because like we've never talked about getting married. That's crazy, okay? Also, I'm of the opinion if you give me a ring and it's like not the color of jewelry that I wear, or it's not my taste whatsoever, and you didn't at all try to get something that you knew I would like, we're done. The end. You don't know me enough to get me a piece of jewelry that you want me to wear for the rest of my life. Absolutely go fuck yourself. But if I wouldn't get married the next day, like if he said or she said, I've got an officiant, they're coming to town tomorrow, let's do this, I want to marry you. If I'm not immediately like, let's fucking do it, I'm not saying yes, I'm saying no. You know what I'm saying? No, I know, that's what I'm saying. I think she could totally be getting cold feet right now, okay? But rather than do it now, she would wait until the last second for the drama of walking away. I also think that she would love the drama of walking away if they don't get married. And then no one knows what happened. You know, like everyone, like there's all these rumors. Oh my God, Taylor ran out. Oh my God, Travis was standing there alone. Travis never came out. Something happened. Like I do think that she would love the drama of that, and then 6 months from now, album drops, you know? Or she's already writing, you know? This mindset for me, good. As a child of divorce, I have many opinions on marriage. By the way, you know the dating scene is bad when my friends that are in relationships that have been like nudging me to date, like would love for me to date, want me to find the love of my life, okay? You know it's bad when they're like, please don't date. I like you. I don't want you murdered. Please stay alive. Please don't date men. Please, no dating. You don't need to date. It's fine. You know, we'll find you. When you're ready, we'll find you a nice place to adopt from. like we'll figure it out. Hermes. Hey, stop. Actually, no, come here. Hang on, I'm gonna get more soup and then I'm gonna get him up here. I'm wearing shorts, don't freak out. Can you chill the fuck out? Hi. Come on, doggy Joe. Come on, let's go to work. Let's go to work. To work. To work. Let's go. No. Come on, Hermes. Hey, I see you. Come on, come to work. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. Doggy jail. Come on. Huzzah. Hello, Mr. Doggy Jail. Hello. Do you want to say hi? Oi. Oh. Oh my God. It's hard when I have shorts on because you just scratch me. I need to trim him up again. He was just drinking his water, so he's all wet. Hi. What? He for sure thinks he's getting soup now. He's not. That's what's so funny. You're so not. You're not. You're not getting soup. You're not getting. Okay, okay. No need to wiggles. No need to wiggles. Yes. Very dramatic. Oy. Yeah, guys, the weight gain is extremely prevalent today. I've been good. 3 days. 3 days of doing very good with my meals, tracking. This is like the first actual legitimate carb that I've had in 3 days. Not that I'm not eating carbs, but you get my point. Hey, can you calm the fuck down? Hi. I've just been prioritizing like fibrous carbs, you know what I'm saying? Not just like noodles, you know, or like bread. I've been like prioritizing like fiber carbs. I kind of bungled this beans recipe yesterday. like this, like, because you know, like TikTok's obsessed with beans all the time, all these cooking TikTokers, especially like if you're a vegetarian, because they're high in fiber and protein. They're actually very versatile. So I got some cannellini beans. I also got some garbanzo beans, but I did this one recipe with like tomato paste and onions, and I kind of fucked it up. I think because I burnt it. It wasn't too bad. I couldn't taste the burnt, which is the important part. The color looked a little fucked up. I also used way less cream than it called for. But they were pretty fucking good. They held flavor really well. They held flavor really well, especially for today because I had them for lunch again and I heated them up again. They kind of slapped. USA got a goal? Ew. Okay. Amanda actively rooting against her country. I'm rooting for Mexico this year for the most part. Hi. What if I don't like beans? Well, no. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, Amber Glenn, the Olympian, HBO, her, and I think it's Lena Lemon. They did a ice skating style heated rivalry video. I need 10 episodes. Fuck off. I need 10 episodes. I'm talking about Yuri on Ice. I need 10 episodes on my desk by Sunday evening. Otherwise, I'm showing up at the HBO offices. Okay? I'm gonna show up. Do you hear him? And applesauce as substitute still lives rent free in my head. Jeez. As someone that is adding kale to everything once again right now, there's kale in this. I did that instead of my zucchini. I did zucchini last time I did this recipe, but I also didn't use noodles last time I did this recipe, which was a few days ago. Let's see. I've got Anime Expo all weekend. So we're probably not going to stream much of Silverstone chat. Just because of how long it takes me to get over to AX. We'll see. We'll play it by ear because I do have to film on probably Friday. We'll see. Hermes, with love, I need you to be serious. We're kind of locking in. Oh, guys, I also need to go back to Universal Studios Hollywood. Why? There is now a Shretzel, as in a Shrek pretzel. There is a pretzel. Can you? Hi, I love you. You're getting, look at your little ear. He looks like Crypto. Look at him. He looks like Crypto, chat. You look so cute with your little ear popping up. You look like Crypto. You literally look like Crypto. You're so cute. He's so cute. We really are, like, we kind of really are Kara and Crypto, huh? Like, because I'm, minus the drinking. Like, he is kind of like a bad dog, and I'm kind of an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But, like, for fun, for good reason. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I need the Shretzel. Hi. Halloween costume idea. I know. New Orleans. Tell me a good place to go to. I've never been, actually. Invest all your money in crypto. See, if they were smart, they would have done an ad like that. You should put all of your money in crypto. And then it's that crypto, not crypto. You know, like they should have run that commercial bit for the trailer. Like, that's so good. They should have run with that. All of the fan art of Valco is sending me. Oh my god, they did get rid of the Valco activation for AX. Someone saw them setting up. Oh, thank God it's inside this year. The Anime Expo Love and Deep Space setup was outside last year, and it was very hot. I didn't stand in line for anything because of it. We should start advertising agency. You're so right. For Cannes Lions next year, I do have a plan before, like a month or so before. I have every intention of doing 25 days of commercials, i.e., I do 25 days. It would not be 25 days like I only do them in 25 days, like I prep for 25 days. But basically, I want to make commercials, like short form commercials for 25 different companies and things that I actually like that I would want to work with. Because I, one, think it would be fun to test myself. Two, I have a sick as fuck video idea for Dramamine. I have a Dramamine video idea that I think needs to be made. And you know what? I'm gonna fucking do it. Okay? There's others. I want to make one for like whales. Like I kind of just like, yeah, things that don't need a commercial, I want to make a commercial for. Like just for funsies. Just to like see how it would do. But Cannes Lions is the festival of creativity specifically for commercials. If I let you out, will you stop being a psycho? Be free. Go. Why'd you go that way? What? Hello. I love and adore you. Can you be chill? You look like you got into berries. Why do you look like you got into berries? Hermes. Sorry, Costco's Rice Krispie Treat cookies right now. Sorry. No, I'm eating healthy. I need you to not be doing that. Hi, can you not? He truly is crypto. Hermes is so cute. He is a brat. Icon. I have no idea what's going on with Love and Deep Space, but I know people are upset. So basically, they introduced a new love interest, and Chinese fans were like, how dare you? He's too tan, i.e., not this color of paper. Out. Out. Huzzah. Now you're out of my dog. Yeah, get fucked. Get wrecked. Anyways, not the color of paper. They said he was too Western looking. They also said he was not Western looking for Western fans. No, he was Western looking to make him gay. Which, side note, every single love interest looks a little gay. That's part of the appeal. Okay? And frankly, like, just dumb shit. Also, in the game, he like breaks into your apartment. Which, side note, you were literally locked in a trunk. You were one of the guys that's your brother lover. Okay, he like kidnaps you and like doesn't let you leave because he's obsessed with you. So like people, so basically they reported Infold seemingly to the CCP allegedly. And then now American fans are like, okay, fuck you. No one gets it. So they're just mass reporting the game across the board. So basically, because Infold folded, and they originally were like, we're not getting rid of Valco. And then literally within 12 hours, they were like, actually, we totally understand. We're canceling Valco, and there will be no future love interest. So they literally, like, and Valco has been planned from the jump. The team that's been working on him has been working on him for 2 years. Because he's literally supposed to, his introduction is going to fill in the gaps of the story that have been happening already. So him not being introduced literally ruins half the shit they've been doing. So it's going to be, it's maybe one of the dumbest things I've seen a company do in a minute. Just because what are you doing? Just because I am of the opinion, if it's kind of like, if someone releases a song and then they delete it because people hated it, I also think you're a pussy loser. You know, like, no, you put that song out, you thought it was God's gift, you believed in it, stand 10 toes down, you know, same with this Infold, same with that, you know, hey, we created the story, not you, okay, bye, haha, you know, that's what should have happened, but no, they folded, and now they're fully, it's a large portion of the fan base that is in China. However, there's a lot of breakdowns of, because obviously China has a much larger population than the United States, that's not a secret, you know, so it's not a nothing percentile. However, people were like, okay, then just make a separate server that is just the international server that they get Valco, you know? Cold War number 2. The idea that Notome game could kick off the US-Chinese Cold War is extremely funny. Hermes. Yeah, so what the sign said, by the way, for the couple that climbed the building, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. That's what it said. Which respectfully, I'd be more like, yeah, fuck yeah, if you literally just did a free Palestine. Trump is a insert literally any true title here, but I'm not saying on stream because I'm, you know. I'm not getting sniped. They're looking for scapegoats daily. But you already did this shit, you know? And delays in places the city just kept because of them. Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you're gonna do this, like, you got me with the engagement. You got me with that. But I want your message to actually be something of fucking substantial, not just love will save us, okay? Like, respectfully, absolutely not. Valco was so hung like a horse that they couldn't handle the impact. Only us, Latin mamas, could hold up with a smile on our face. I can't delete this out. This is why I can never get rid of Twitter. Guys, where else am I gonna get this? How else am I gonna know what someone in Portuguese said about it? I'm crying. How else? See, this is what they're trying to take from me. I'm crying. There's tears in my eye. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I do like PlayStation saying they're getting rid of physical discs and then reversing it a few hours later. We sincerely regret the concern this has raised. We've heard your voice loud and clear. Does no one do like temperature tests anymore? Does no one do focus groups anymore? What the fuck? Like, I swear to God, everyone's just doing shit because AI. You know? God, do a focus group. Hire some fucking nerds to sit in a circle, give them some coffee and donuts, and ask them about several things, and you'll get some fucking answers, okay? And I'm sick of companies not doing this shit anymore. It drives me up the wall. About the climbers? He definitely doesn't need to. Frankly, unless the thing said, like, Mom Donnie is a Trump shill, which it wouldn't. But, like, if it did say something like that, then he could say something. He'll probably make jokes about it the way that he's been making jokes about the trash can thief. Like he'll probably do that. Gosh.
Let's see.
If 85% of sales were digital, you will lose millions if you try to force that last 15%. Exactly. Especially because even if it's digital, as someone that, like, I don't own physical games, not really. I think I own a handful of um, Switch games physically, but like most of my games are digital, obviously, because we play them on stream. But even that, as someone that loves physical games, like, or physical media in general, like if a company, like, you want to see how quickly I started boycott. You're getting rid of what? You know? Sony's run by idiots. I mean, fair and valid. Oh, God. Okay, so let's talk about this. Can I pull up this video? So, girl is about to go on vacation with her husband. Let's see if I can find the video. Do we have her video? Trying to find it. So a girl posted about this and she thought it was weird, and everyone was like, hey girl, he's totally gonna fucking murder you. Trying to find the video. Okay. She turned the comments off because people were telling her, hey, your husband's gonna murder you. We're just gonna watch this, okay? But I, even at the start of this, I was like, oh, your husband's lying to you. She has comments turned off. But I think this is a important video, okay?
With SoFi.
Hang on.
Someone just stole $20,000 out of my savings account. Yeah, if you think that's insane, so do I. Basically, my husband and I have a joint checking and savings account with SoFi because they have the best high yield savings rate that we could find. And we're supposed to go out of town and go camping, and we'll be out of service. So I'm going through my email yesterday, making sure I'm caught up on everything, and I see an email from SoFi telling me that my husband Jace has transferred $19,998 from our savings account, and that it's been approved.
See, he's a fucking idiot as well, because you know why he did the 1900, 900? He thought it wasn't going to trigger anything. You know what the actual amount is? It's 10K, but he did 20. It's even set up for most banks because it literally triggers the IRS if you're moving too much money. So even if you do like a handful of like 900 here or 9,000 here, 9,000 here, 9,000 here, it does flag that as you trying to like hide money that you're moving basically. 20,000 is not the tip off point. It's not the alert. I think that was him trying to avoid it alerting her, frankly.
And it's going to be happening in the next 3 to 5 business days. And I thought, that's really weird. My husband wouldn't transfer that much money without telling me, surely. So I'm like, just racking my brain trying to figure out what's going on. And then I remember like, oh, we just talked about our retirement account and how our high yield savings caps out at a certain amount. So like, oh, maybe it would be better to move some of our high yield savings into our retirement accounts. No big deal. So,
by the way, I'm assuming what she's referring to is high yield savings account across the board. You are insured by the FDIC to $250,000. Okay. So I'm assuming that's what she's referring to, unless she's with SoFi. I can't imagine SoFi capping below that. Like, oh, your high yield savings can only have $50,000 or something. That's a weird amount to be taking out regardless, okay?
I text Jace because I'm like, oh, did you just move money to our retirement account and not tell me. And I call him, and he doesn't answer, which is not normal for him. He always answers me, and if he doesn't, he texts me and says, hey, like, I'll call you, I'm doing whatever. So I call him, no answer. And then I text him, I'm like, hey, $19,000 and almost 20K is out of our savings. Did you do that? Still no answer. I call him again, no answer. And at this point, I'm like starting to panic because I'm like, this is so weird, like, what's going on? And he finally texts me back and he's like, so sorry, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you soon. I didn't do that, but I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it. I'm like,
I agree. I think at best he is a
are you
gambling
kidding me?
addiction.
First of all, I married the most nonchalant man in the world. Nothing phases him. He's like, oh, I'm sure we'll figure it out. No worries.
Hey guys, in case it needs to be said, a golden retriever is still a dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Panicking. $20,000? How does someone just steal $20,000?
Yeah, girl, you should be taking this seriously.
So I'm calling SoFi. I'm texting their stupid little chat bot in their app and trying to get to talk to like a real person because it's just AI that I'm talking to. And finally get to talk to someone and they're like, oh yeah, like you're just gonna have to dispute the charge, but we can't get your money back until we're done with an investigation.
The thing hasn't.
I'm sorry?
No, that doesn't even make sense, though. I disagree because she found the notification that the transfer hadn't been initiated yet. Cancel the transfer. The money's not gone yet. Unless the money's already gone or there's more money missing than she's letting on. Because then I'm wondering if it's multiple transactions, but she thinks that sounds too bad. Because there's no reason. Hey, I'm so sorry. I got notified this transfer is going through. We did not approve this. Please cancel this transaction. Because the transfer hasn't happened yet. And again, in her husband's name, where is the money being transferred to? Hi, can you please tell me where this money is being... I am a registered user on the account. Where is the money being transferred to? Because she just said it's in her husband's name. But where? Is it being transferred to his bank account? Is it a new bank account you don't know about? Is it being transferred to the bank account of the retirement account? Is it being transferred to Schwab? Like, where is it going? You know?
$20,000? You're not going to give us $20,000 back. Okay. So they have 10 days to investigate our dispute of our transaction. According to their records, my husband is the one who transferred the money. Even though we have two-factor authentication or whatever that is on, so like anytime anyone signs in, we get a text message. Jace gets a text message to his phone. We had no one sign into our account. That's not normal. The only activity that's been weird is right before that 20K got transferred out, we had like 4 or 5 transactions from Ally Bank. There were like 80 cents in, 80 cents out. And it was like $5 in, $5 out. And then to US Bank was the transfer for $19,998. And so basically we're just at SoFi's mercy of whether or not they decide.
Hey, girly pop. Do you guys use US Bank? Does your husband have a US Bank account? So Ally is another high yield savings account. They also have banking and such, but it's mostly another high yield savings account. And also Ally is one of those, I think they do the test transactions. A lot of banking accounts, they do test transactions if you're trying to make a new connection to prove that you have access to the bank account that you're referring to. So they usually are like, hey, in the next few days, we will do a small transaction of less than $1. All you need to do once you see that is report it, and then that money will be refunded. Like it's very common, okay, depending on the type of banking app. So it could be that yes, he was setting up the Ally account, but the bank, that the whole U.S. bank account, that's a whole separate bank. That's weird.
Since we did catch it within 48 hours, we caught it within 24, but I think if you catch it within 48 hours,
I don't see I don't see why they can't cancel the transfer. There's no reason she can't cancel the transfer, because she even said, unless she like was debating this for a long time and it had already gone through, she said she saw an email saying that the transfer would go through in the next 2 to 3 days, which means that the transfer has not happened. It was approved, which means that there should be no reason she can't cancel it.
There's certain laws. We're trying to look into that more. But we're basically at SoFi's mercy, like, if they realize, like, it actually wasn't us or not who transferred this out. And so,
Because your husband
we have to wait. They have 10 business days to get back to us. We are going to be camping out of service. So every day we're going to have to drive back out of our campsite, probably about an hour to service, to find out if they decide to give us our money back. And if not,
Girly.
$20K down the drain. $20,000. So just a reminder, make sure you have 2-factor authentication on. Make sure that you're changing your bank passwords, updating them semi-frequently.
I'm checking her page.
And admit you're in danger.
Me to the people in my comment section accusing my 100 of stealing $20,000 out of our own savings and saying it's not safe to go camping with him when he literally was fast asleep in bed next to me when the hackers stole our money and is a perfect cutie golden retriever husband who wouldn't hurt a fly. Sounds like you were also asleep though, girly pop. Sounds like you, because you noticed this after it was already approved, so it sounds like you were also asleep. And again, it's not that hard to... Good night, baby. You know, it's not that hard to fucking do. Let's not act like that's some espionage level shit. Okay? Comment section. Don't forget Golden Retriever is still a dog. She's exactly where she want to be. My crew, let's go. Well, if he was sleeping next to you when the transfer happened, why did you ask him if he transferred it? Because she was asleep. Ashley go camping, sis. It's probably to die for. Let her go, y'all. Netflix gonna pick it up, though. How did I know? See you guys in the documentary. You know what? I'm no longer concerned. You know you can schedule transfers. You can. He chose her for a reason. She's where she wants to be. Sorry, I'm in a meeting. Yeah, that wasn't me. Isn't a normal response to losing $20,000 to anyone. So not to be funny, why'd you add in the whole part of the story about you calling him and him not answering, which you said was so out of character for him? You can schedule a transfer, by the way. Either leave him or leave us out of it. I'm confused. You said he was at work. You said you called and texted him and he didn't answer. If I was in the meeting and noticed my partner saying $20,000 was missing, I excuse myself from that meeting. Okay, this is who the type of people we're seeing. So this is Sadie, okay, down here. Her tag name is Dane's wife. Once we get into the category of women that identify as, like, their whole identity is being a wife of their husband, not even just a wife, like wife and mama, I can understand that, okay? But Dane's wife, you've lost me. You've lost me. We're in different stratospheres. We're not going to see eye to eye, I think, on anything. I can't make you see reason. We just can't, you know? So let's see if there's any other ones. Here's this one.
Okay, so I've made some people very concerned based on my last video, so I'm going to clear some things up.
They did go camping.
Number one, I love and trust my husband, and I'm
Is he
going
driving?
to be perfectly safe. Number two, we're going camping with my side of the family, all my extended family. So it's like 40 plus people, including my parents and siblings who are very protective of me. But they don't need to protect me from my husband because I'm fine. But just to clarify, we're not going to be alone. I've been going to this area since I literally was 3 months old every single year.
Because you feel
It's a
safe
big deal.
there.
It's a big trip. So no, we're not going to cancel it. We're not going to let a scammer ruin one of my favorite memories of all time. We're just going to be responsible.
I'm sorry, someone in the comments said, out of curiosity, did your smile light up a room? This is really sinister, and it's just like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is giving me the vibe of, do you guys remember that video? I hated this video because everyone got recommended this video after she was already murdered. It was a woman talking to her phone in her car, and she was talking about her divorce and how amazing her ex was being, her soon-to-be ex was being, and how he was being great with the kids, and how the kids were handling it so well. And it was like she seemed very upbeat. She seemed very positive. A few days later, her husband that she was trying to divorce murdered her, killed her. She had no idea. She was so thankful he was being so comfortable and cool about the divorce. He was being so amazing. He was handling it so well. He then killed her. And I believe killed himself. I'm not certain. But that video, her talking in her car, is what circulated later. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm hoping it's nothing. I'm hoping it's gambling debt. But even then, if I find out my husband is gambling debt, I'm leaving your ass, because I wouldn't doubt for you to think that you can pull it over on me to, one, hide it, but then also take money from our shared savings account for our future. You're a psycho. I'm done. We're never doing this again, you know? Videos are out. Yes, you would hope not, you know, you would hope not. She's alive, supposedly, as of right now. It looks like. I'll check her account still,
and get service so that we can check our email. We have filed a police report. We have started an official fraud investigation.
I give it 6 months. If this is not a murder situation, hang on.
Okay, I wanted to make an update video on the money that was stolen from our bank account. I realized that the way that I told the story, if people have different life experiences than me, how they can maybe see the situation differently. I genuinely was sharing that video just to bring awareness to the fact that you need to pay attention to your bank accounts. I know I'll be watching my bank account much closer now, and just to remind people.
It's very weird that she never shows her husband in these videos, right? It's weird, no?
To make sure their accounts are secure, but I can totally see how it was taken out of context, and you have very little context into my life because I don't share a lot of my life on the internet. But for the people who are genuinely concerned, thank you for your concern. I appreciate that people are kind and good and want to look out for my safety. I can assure you I am safe, I am happy, and I think that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to try and convince people. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and that's a beautiful part about life. Everyone can live the way they want, and I have a trusted community of people I'm really blessed to have that give me great advice. So thank you for sharing your advice. I'm gonna keep asking the people in my life that I trust and love to give me their advice. And yeah, as far as that part of the situation, that's all I'm gonna share. I'm done talking about any more of that. We have gotten more notifications from SoFi in the last 24 hours saying that there has been more suspicious activity on our account
because you flagged
while we've
it.
been out of service. And so we've been in contact with them. They've basically locked our accounts down, and we're just waiting to hear back from them. We've just been calling them and going back and forth.
Sorry, someone said, what dose of Lexapro is this?
I'm actually on hold on the other line right now.
It's from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then everything else is pinned, so she hasn't posted anything in 2 days. Wife, homemaking, lifestyle, and more. Oh, honey. She's so young. She's 22. Oh, wait. Here's the husband. Okay. No, hold on. Hold on. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Finding it. I agree. You know what? I'll say that. Ninja is right. Honey, you should be at the club. Oh, goodness. I never had to ask him to love me, never had to prove anything to him or act a certain way to earn his approval. He just loves me because I'm Liza. We've only been together for a short while, but I've never felt so seen or loved or smiled more in my whole life. You're married. Someone said he looks like he would do it. A short while? Yeah. They got married within 9 months of meeting each other last year? Someone's gonna be like, yeah, Amanda, that's how religion works or whatever. And I'm gonna be like, no, that's how a plot to murder someone works. Girl, do you have a life insurance policy? Girl. Girl. Girl, do you have a life insurance policy? Oh, goodness. Have you guys ever heard of dead wife videos? I feel like that's what, like in a movie when like the wife dies and haunts the narrative, and it's like all videos like this that are very dreamlike. She LDS. It doesn't look like it. Like there are, that's the crazy thing, is there are women that are obsessed with like being like brides or married, but they're not religious. Like we're seeing that a lot more now, and like they might turn to religious at some point. There probably are religious, but still. That was a very dead wife video. Dead wife B-roll, basically. No, literally, my dad and I make jokes about it because my dad has a life insurance policy and I'm the beneficiary, and I'm supposed to be in charge of distributing it to me and my brother because he's not married. And so like whenever he has to go and re-up it, he's like, by the way, they know to check you first. I'm like, I understand, like it's a running joke. She's in Idaho, I think. God, I'm sleepy. Oh, Idaho, condolences. Like I go back and forth on it because I've always told my father, I'm like, Dad, if I ever tell you I'm marrying someone, especially a man, and it's not too long of a timeline, assume he has money. Assume I know what I'm doing. Because I do think I also am one of those people where I'm like, I don't know. If I know, I know, Like if I feel like, so like I would get married within a year, but like I'd still want to know them for a period of time, Gotcha. Yeah, so that's what some people have been discussing, is that video. Sorry, hand. Um, what else? Oh, I saw a video because it's that time of year, okay, where we just had this time of year, okay, which was graduation period, okay, where everyone was graduating from high school and college and such. Mainly, this is the high school people I'm talking about. But without fail, I saw a bajillion videos of parents screaming at administrators, screaming at teachers on the phone. How dare you ruin my child's life by not letting them graduate? You never told us they weren't graduating, da 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 da. And it's like, no, 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 no. We're not doing this. We're so not doing it. I'm really, as someone without children, you know, that doesn't want to live in a society of stupid people. And as someone who was never particularly good at school but loved learning, I get it. You know, school's not fun. You know what I did? Showed up. I went to class. I watched this one video from a teacher. Her and the administrator had been calling this parent again and again and again. Mom finally answers, "Hey, I'm at work. Stop calling me. Ma'am, we're calling to let you know your sons are absent from school. They're not going to class. I know. I don't know what to tell you. I drop them off and then I pick them up. It's your job to keep them on campus. If they're not staying in class, that's on you. Stop calling me about this. Guarantee you mama will be calling up as soon as they're told they're not graduating. Like, absolutely not. You know, and I'm just at the, like, I just watched this video before I hit live, where it was a teacher going through, I believe she was a teacher, or she was just a parent, I don't know. But she was going through all the things that will get you told on TikTok that you're mom shaming, i.e. making sure you're checking your kids' backpacks when they get home. Making sure that they're, you know, wearing clean clothes or attempting to wear clean clothes before going to school, giving them a bath, feeding your child breakfast, you know, like checking their homework, seeing if they're going to class, checking to make sure that they're doing their homework, knowing where your child is after school, you know, and like just all these things where I'm like, yeah, that seems basic. And then I remember TikTok is a hellscape. I'm so sorry. You do need to make sure your child is clean. Like, you do. Do you know how easy lice outbreaks can happen in a school? You know, parenting, exactly. But no, if you say, hey, you need to make sure your kid is wearing clean clothes, that's mom shaming somehow. You know, and it's like, I'm tired. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Not Dexerto posting about Love and Deep's face. I can't. Mom Shimmer, then so be it. Those kids need you. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Her horror stories from her about parental behavior. I watched a video of this poor child that passed away. And he managed to gain like 120 pounds in like 11 months since his last pediatrician appointment. His parents were charged with neglect. Why? Because he was 7 years old. When he died of basically of like heart failure because he was almost 200 pounds. His younger sister was in a similar state, and the apparently arresting deputies referred to her seemingly like she was like a feral child. And yet, do you know why he was able to get to that? Aside from that pediatrician, there was no record of that child existing. Not really. Like there's too many I'm hearing too many instances of that right now in 2026, okay? Of children somehow completely slipping under the radar in various households, you know, like that child was not in school, neither was his sister. No one was checking in on that child. No one even thought to call CPS because no one knew those children existed. Went to the pediatrician, everything seemed normal. He was a healthier weight. Nothing apparently raised a red flag because the pediatrician didn't contact TPS. And then something happened in 11 months. Like it's horrific, you know? And it's like, I told you guys not too long ago about that other case of a neglect case of a mom with her daughter, and she had like 4 kids. And while they were investigating that neglect case, they found out that one of her children had been missing for like 10 years. And had been missing, like a 3-year-old child had not been seen or heard from for 10 years, and no one ever reported the child as missing. And they are now fully in the belief that this woman had killed her child, or at least set her child up to be killed or sent away. And no one thought to look for that kid. Fully did, like, had other children. Apparently told, the only witness that they are using, I believe, is her now 14-year-old brother, who was like 4 at the time, I believe. And he remembers like he remembers his mom yelling and taking her to the room, and then her having her jacket on and her being like, she's gonna go live with friends now or something like that. Like the images of a child conjuring. So how viable is it? You don't know, you know. But he remembers his sister was there and then she was not. And she had more kids after that. And it's just like, it's one of those things. I saw this other video, and I'm glad her friends told her she was a fucking idiot. Because she was like, hey guys, do I look pregnant? Because I am. And her friends were like, are you actually fucking stupid? You're joking. Are you actually fucking stupid? And she's like laughing, like it's so fun. She's 9 months postpartum. She is a 9-month-old. And she's pregnant already. Like, God, what? What? In a dilapidated house, and we're held for 4 years. Hate it. Hate everything. The pediatrician's other patients are also being looked at. Yeah. I don't know if there's any updates on the case. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. Here's the case. So again, my timing might be different. Police searching for missing girl after mother arrested for allegedly locking sibling in closet. Ava Maria Gonzalez was last seen in December. Almost 10 years. December 2017 at the age of 2, police said. Police in Texas said they are looking for a missing 9-year-old girl who hasn't seen in over 7 years, whose disappearance was uncovered after the child's mother was arrested for allegedly locking her 7-year-old daughter in a closet for weeks. Virginia Marie Gonzalez, 33 of Austin, was arrested on a charge of injury to a child after the 7-year-old girl was found locked in a closet and starving last month, according to Austin detective Russell Constable. The girl's grandmother called police after she found the child malnourished, soiled, and barricaded in a bedroom closet on April 3rd. According to the arrest warrant affidavit, the grandmother had gone to the apartment after Gonzalez was arrested for marijuana possession, according to the affidavit. Gonzalez allegedly barricaded her child in the closet for a month, feeding her a hot dog or corn dog in the morning and evening and a cup of water a day, according to the affidavit. The girl was immediately taken to the local hospital for medical treatment, where she was found to weigh 29 pounds and had signs of malnourishment. According to the affidavit, she is currently recovering, Constable said during a press briefing Tuesday, calling the case emotionally difficult. There were 6 other children in the home between the ages of 2 and 14 who appeared to be physically healthy, police said. Though during the investigation, authorities learned that there was an 8th child, Ava Marie Gonzalez, who was not inside the home and had not been seen by family or friends since December of 2017, when she was 2 and in the custody of her mother. Austin Police Department missing person detectives are seriously concerned about Ava's welfare, given the circumstances in which Ava's 7-year-old sibling was found, Constable said. ABC News reached out to Gonzalez's attorney and did not immediately receive a response. She is being held in the county complex with a $75,000 bond. This is from last year, by the way. Ava has not been reported missing by her mother or anyone else. Constable said the girl's mother has provided conflicting information to many different family members about Ava's whereabouts, and police are asking for anyone who may have seen her or knows where she is to come forward. This one doesn't talk about the brother. The other statement I saw talked about the brother. Back soon. Bye. Such cruelty to people who can't defend themselves. No, I hate it. She was in jail for this, yes. Let me see if there's... I'll search up her name. Let me see if there's any updates. She got sentenced to 25 years for locking her daughter in the closet in January of this year. Hang on, let me fix the ads. Whoops. Let's see. They're still searching the case. There's nothing more about her, though, unfortunately. But she got 25 years for the child neglect. Hate it. I'm so sorry. What? Hold on. I'm gonna watch this video and then we're gonna... Hang on. There's no way this is fucking real. Okay, according to this, secret boob job by stepdad kills 14-year-old girl. This is from 9 months ago. A 14-year-old girl is dead after allegedly undergoing multiple plastic surgeries performed by her stepfather in Mexico. Her father discovered the scars at the funeral and is now demanding an investigation. How do you go through, how do you get to the funeral? How does an embalmer not see the surgery scars? On a 14-year-old girl, this girl is tiny. I'm not showing her video specifically for this reason. This girl is very young looking. She's very small. According to the comments, because I don't think I can hear more of this, lipo, breast implants, and a BBL. BBL is one of the most dangerous surgeries you can do, by the way. And someone that small is psychotic. That's psychotic. Oh, God. Yeah, this video apparently refers to her as a young woman. She's 14. I'm really fed up. I know this is because of the fact that there's a fucking genocide happening and also because of the Epstein victims. We need to use the word child more to drill home the insidiousness of these crimes. This is not a young woman. She's 14. She's a fucking child. I'm sick of this shit. Sick of this shit, okay? I don't want to think about children being blown up either, but it's a thing that Israel's doing. Okay? Everyone in the Epstein files trafficked children, harmed children, and young children. I don't know what to fucking tell you, okay? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Sorry, I saw that video and it immediately made me mad. Let's see. trying to see if there's anything else that we want to go over. Oh, God. Say child when it's a child. You would think they would, but the BBC proves otherwise. Many US publications prove otherwise. Let's see. So when it's not a fucking child, there are special pillows, i.e., there are literally pillows that you can lay on your front that are like cushioned, but there's a boob cut out. Yeah, 'cause you can't lay on your butt. I hate BBLs. I think they're deeply unsafe. And also, you can lose a BBL, and no one talks about that. You can lose a BBL because it's fat. You can lose the fat. Your body can reject it, and not in like a catastrophic way, but it can reject it in that you literally pee out your BBL. Like you literally reprocess the fat, and your body redistributes it. Like it literally can't migrate. It's fat. It can't migrate the same way that filler can. You can, it's not necessarily migration. It's like I said, it can redistribute the fat. So it might look like it's migrating, but it's not actually migrating the same way that, say, filler can, you know? At least to my knowledge. Let's see. Like one of her after childbirth and her body like made her butt cave in. Yeah, your body can do weird shit. It's one of the reasons like if I really don't want to get a boob job because I got perfect titties. No, I'm kidding. But like if I do know, I have a few friends that like so one of my friends is a prenup, okay, because her husband is very wealthy. And it's literally in their prenup that after she has kids and they're done having kids, he has to pay for her boob job, which is extremely funny to me. But no, there's a few. I know a few people that once they're done having kids, they get their boobs done or they plan to, because your boobs do change once you are done nursing. Sometimes they can, because they expand. Everyone talks about them getting bigger. No one ever talks about like what happens after. Sometimes they sag differently. Sometimes they fall differently. Sometimes they maintain volume, but like usually things don't last. They don't operate the same. once you've had a small human gnawing on your titty. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things change. So sometimes boob jobs are a thing that people get done, you know, a prenup. Prenuptial agreement. It's an agreement that you sign before you get married. So prenuptials. There's also postnups. So it's after you get married if you decide to like draw up a contract then. I'm team prenup. For anyone that knows, whether I have more money or not, I don't care. I'm getting a prenup. If I marry someone rich, I'm getting a prenup. I'm making sure my ass is protected. I'm getting a lawyer. I don't care if they're wealthy as fuck. I'm getting a high price lawyer. I'm gonna be like, I want you to make sure that if anything happens tomorrow, because I come from divorce, if something happens tomorrow, I am taken care of. That's what I want. That's what my lawyer is gonna be in charge of. Hell, I'm literally gonna put it in my prenup like, hey, if we have kids and you decide to leave me, here's like I want certain things detailed. You know, we're getting things laid out. I cringe every time, yeah. No, sometimes they can end up lopsided. Like your boobs can just change. And like there's plenty of, you can do a lift without getting like a full boob job done. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. It's basically like top surgery. It's similar. It's a similar way to, it's top surgery. It's gender affirming care. There's a lot of women that they're just like, oh, I don't feel the same as I did. My body feels different. I feel like a mom, not a woman type of thing, you know. And so I'm for, you know, doing things to make yourself feel more comfortable if that's the case, you know. Female to female transitioning. I mean, yeah, clavicular can male to male transition. I think that mothers, once they are done having kids, if they would like, I do recommend, I have heard some people, I'm so curious. I wish more people that had boob jobs before having children would talk about it, because it can do different things to your ducts. Because people, I think it's like one little hole. It's not. It's like, okay, hang on. So like, here's your nipple. Okay. This is your nipple. Okay. And if you're lactating, there's like a million little holes. It's not quite a million, but there's a fuckload of little holes. Okay. And like, it just kind of comes out like not like a hose, it like dribbles out like all those holes, which is one of the ways that if you get a clog, it can be really fucking painful, because there's not one hole for it to come out of. It could be stuck in multiple little fucking holes. It's really fucking painful. Okay. And it's like a whole thing. Okay. And so like, cause it's coming out everywhere, it's also affecting like the flow, where it's coming from, which ducts it's coming in through your boobs, you know? So for some people, cause some people are getting the boob, I don't know, cause there's different methods for boob, sorry, we're talking about boob jobs. There's different methods for boob jobs, cause there's the, one where they just kind of plop, they cut up in your skin and they put it on top of the existing tissue. Okay. So I've got boob, and then they put the boob right on top of the existing tissue. This is less common now, is my understanding. Now, I believe what's more common is they literally lift up, they make an incision and they lift up the existing tissue and then put the implant underneath, so that the top of the boob implant is more natural, i.e. your actual existing titty. You know what I'm saying? And so that makes it way more natural looking. You can get much more development. I've seen some that look fucking great. I've seen some that are really stiff, but usually they're gonna look stiff for at least a year or two until they like they may fall, because like boob jobs often they sit really high and then they fall. Okay. I've watched a lot of Botched. But they probably won't look fully their right shape until like got a year or so after. Like, just because it takes time for the muscle to settle, takes time for the you know, the tissue around to settle and start like rebuilding and things like that. That makes sense. Under the armpit is actually going to make me throw up, so we're not going to talk about that. I did see some truly sick, and sick isn't good, sick top scars, because they went in through the nipple for top scars to remove everything. So there's literally no incision for where they took the tissue out. because it's all around the nipple. So there is an incision, but it's very hidden in the nipple. It's actually some of the best work I've ever seen for top surgery. Incredible job. So there are some boobs that do that, although I think they recommend you don't do that if you, again, like I said, intend to have children and nurse, you know? The one that I've seen that takes 9,000 years, anything in the chin. Any actual surgery getting into the jawline or in the chin will take probably close to a year, if not longer, to fully, for numbness to go away and for the swelling to go down. That's why, for example, if you look at Zac Efron right after his surgery versus now, he looks like a totally different person because it took so long for his surgery to settle. It's not a boob job through the chin. It's just a chin, like, surgery. Yeah, so he had surgery on his face. It settled a lot. Let me see if I can find a current photo of Zac Efron. So here's that. That's from Iron Claw. So you can kind of see he looks very different. He's also just older, so he's gained mass in his face. He has talked a lot about how he basically had an eating disorder from Hollywood for years. And so like on his show, his food show, it was actually very good because he talks about how important carbs are and like how like happy he is to actually be eating carbs because he basically was like vilifying carbs within himself. He basically had an eating disorder. And so he's definitely gained weight, which has also made his cheeks fill out a lot more. So then when he did have the surgery, it did make his cheeks look like wider because he had gained weight, which is a healthy weight to be at. I'm not saying that he looks unhealthy or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, he shattered his jaw in 2013. He slipped while running in socks in his home, lost consciousness, and severely broke his jaw, leaving his chin bone hanging off his face. He required emergency reconstructive surgery and extensive physical therapy to repair the damage. So the problem with reconstructive surgery is it's usually trying to get you to some semblance of like existence. It's not always going to make it look the best it possibly can. For example, Lisa went through reconstruction on one of her breasts because she had a mastectomy for her breast cancer. Hermes, what are we doing? Hermes. Hi. What are we doing? Yeah, I hear you. Enough. Weirdo. Crime boy, crime boy. And so she had some very severe scarring on her back from reconstruction because they take tissue from the back and bring it to the front. And a lot of women that have dealt with reconstructive for their breast, they feeling is all gone. They can have a lot. The scarring can be very disruptive, can be very painful and uncomfortable. But it can help bring a semblance of normality, like I said, with maintaining, two breasts. But it takes time to do. And so it's kind of like a complicated because it's like, yeah, what's the alternative? His jaw is hanging off his face, so it may not look exactly how he would like it to or how he used to, but like it probably, saved him, So I do know it's gone down a bit currently. He still looks very different, but also, again, he's older now, you know? You can also see that he probably has tried to do some fillers here and there to try and achieve... What are you doing? Can you stop? Hey, Ina, come here. Come on. Come on. Hermes. Doggy jail. Settle down. I love you. Settle down, Bubbas. Form first before aesthetics, exactly. And like I said, it can take months, if not years, to like fully regain, you know, what you were expecting. So again, and even then, because of the scar tissue, it can be very hard to go in and get like corrective surgery done after the fact. Hi. Hermes. I love you, Bubba Bean. Guys, there's the cinnamon sugar Strutzel. The Shrek pretzel. I need it. I need it. It's huge too. I'm so excited. I'm gonna get it. Shrexel, a Shrek pretzel at Universal Studios Hollywood. I need it. With the media, with the, oh, when did they get plastic surgery? Yeah. I hear you. I love you, Bubba's. Can you lay down? Stormy knows command. He knows them. He chooses not to utilize them or respect them. Yes, I love you, baby boy. You're my beautiful demon. I love you. Lay down. You gonna settle down? I love you. Go lay down. I'm so tired. It's 7. Already 8. It's like a weird state of being. This like post, because I'm not really jet lagged anymore. It's just like this time. I'm just tired, you know, sleepy. Do. His commander on demand himself. Yes. Yes, Bubba boy. I love you. Okay, let's see. Hi, Bubbies. I love you. Okay, so the trophy for the British GP kind of looks like a butt plug, chat. Or do you guys know, okay, have you guys seen those like fisting, those rubber fisting hands that kind of look like this? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what it looks like. Hold on, let me show you. Am I wrong? Is that not Do you know what I mean? But like chrome, you know? Am I wrong? Got one of those accidental. What did they order? Oh, did they order rubber hand or something for like a project? And then that's what came out. I can see that. Silverfish GP. Sliverfish GP. Yep. Now I can unsee it. See? I'm tweeting that. Hold on. Why is it giving? I'm never gonna get invited to a race. Sometimes I say shit online and I'm like, this is why I don't get more brand deals. This is why I'm not invited to more events. But you know what? That joke needed to be told. That joke needed to be shared. I love you. Can you lay down? Let's see. Worth it. Amazing work. So brave to raw dogging Twitter on stream. Oh yeah. I didn't realize I was still doing that, chat. I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all. Be totally honest with y'all. I did not realize I was still. My bad. I have no excuse. It's right in front of my face. I literally was just looking over here and I didn't realize. I saw the tweet, right? Let's see. At least nothing TOS. That'd be so funny. Can I love you? Look at this mean boy. You're so mean to me. Hi. He has rights. Ugh. I'm not reading the tweet I just saw. Oh gosh. Let's see. See if there's any videos we want to watch. God. Old man crypto LOL. I know. He's so old. Oh God. I'm so tired. I'm just like, you know when it hits you? God, I need a nap. Literally, I cut. I hovered over the Swell Shenanigans Clips stream feed of me yawning, and it's God. Oh God. Okay, hold on. Ghosts? Let's see what pops up for the ghosts. More doorbell shit from Chilling Scares. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Ruff. Charge. Whatever. Okay. Okay. Let's get comfy. I need a big blanket up
This
here
clip
for
was
when we do
captured
these
at 5 in the
streams.
morning on
Not the
October 2nd,
mask.
2022. In it, 3 men are shown standing in front of this house's front door.
Bye, AEIO.
They're carrying
F
weapons
you.
and wearing masks resembling the ones from the movie The Purge. One of them sees the doorbell camera and immediately puts his hand over it.
Loser.
For a good portion of the video,
You're wearing
all you can see is his
masks.
glove.
You're
But for
wearing
a second,
masks.
he uncovers the camera, revealing all 3 men up close.
Losers. God, don't. What are we doing? What's the point of the masks then, if you're gonna do this shit? You're not even doing it well. Put tape over it. What are we doing?
They're seen leaned up against the wall and crouching low to the ground, clearly trying to stay out of the view of anyone inside. That's when the homeowner finally wakes up to all the motion detected notifications on his phone. He pulls
Hey, fuckers, I can see you. I know you. The cops are on their way. Wee wee wee. Like, what are we doing?
up the app, but all he sees is a glove covering the camera.
Lay down, Bubbas.
Having not yet seen the earlier footage, he goes on the speaker and tries to identify who's on his front porch.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
No, I'm sorry. If I can
Hello?
determine that you're covering my speaker, I think you're being sus as fuck.
The men do not respond, so the homeowner called the police. By the time the police arrived, though, the men were gone.
Of course they were.
Many believe they were trying to lure the homeowner into opening the door so they could rob
Do
him.
it well.
But
do it
why
right if
then
you're gonna
not
do
trying to
it.
convince him to come to the door when he came on the doorbell speaker?
Yeah, what was the point of this?
It's more likely they were trying to pick the lock while the camera was being covered.
Is that what was happening?
What they then planned to do when they got inside is anyone's best guess. This woman had just gotten back from walking her dog. Her doorbell camera shows her starting to take off the dog's
Hi,
leash
lay down.
when she looks over to the right,
Nah.
causing her to quickly pick up her dog and get inside.
No!
Immediately, we find out why. A man comes into frame and walks right up to the front
Bro,
door.
why are you sidling up like that? No! I hate these. I hate videos like this. I hate this so much. And this is why every time I get into my apartment with my loving dog Hermes, even though I do think he would rip off the ankles of anyone that came at me, I make sure I get us inside the door, and then I lock it, and then I take off his harness and my shoes. I don't try and do anything while outside, while just inside the door. Nope, that's an indoor thing. We're doing that inside. I don't like how he's sidled up like that. I don't like how he's walking across the grass like that. I hate this.
He tries the handle, but she managed to lock
America
it just
won?
in time.
God damn it.
The man then starts putting on gloves, and she also mentioned how he was
Chat. Gloves? Oh no, see, if I get to kill you now. I get to defend myself. No, I'm locking Hermes in a side room. I'm taking my baseball bat and I'm wrecking your shit. Get off my property now.
carrying zip ties.
Hate this.
He looks into the house and tries the door handle multiple more times within the next few minutes. Eventually, her neighbor comes outside. To
Why
this,
does he
the
have
man
this-
picks up a nearby garden hose and acts like he's doing yard work. Once
With
the neighbor
gloves
left,
on?
the man walks around to the house's back door.
Camera recording.
Nope, I get to beat your ass now. I'm so sorry. You're on my property.
He tried forcing the back
California is not a stand your ground state. I'm about to make it one. Okay? Get off my fucking property. I'm beating your ass.
door open to which the homeowner locked herself in a room and called
This is why you need to know your neighbors, okay? Because if my neighbor saw some random dude hanging around my apartment, he'd be like, what the fuck? Who are you? Hey man, I'm so-and-so, what's up? What are you doing outside of her? Is she expecting you? What's going on?
the police. In the time it took them to arrive, the man tried breaking in almost every window to the house. He broke off the screen to one
Call
of the
the
back windows,
police!
but was ultimately unsuccessful at getting inside.
I'm gonna...
By the time police arrived, he had left. There wasn't much the police could do by that point.
Of course not, because why would they
The
be helpful?
homeowner ended up posting the video to TikTok in the hopes that someone could identify the man. As far as I could find, no one could.
Baudo, you won the Swell Grand Prix. They were subscribing while I'm having a panic attack over this shit.
10-year-old Graydon Dowland is a kid from Riverton,
Once
Utah.
again, Chad, I do think I need to get a
It was
gun.
around 6 p.m. on a night in December.
Have we seen this?
He was alone, walking home from basketball practice this night. At some point
What do
during
you
his
mean?
walk, he noticed a four-door sedan driven by two
What do you
men
mean?
slowly lurking around behind him.
What do you mean?
Graydon said he started walking faster when he saw it.
What do you
Then
mean?
the car drove up right next to him. The men inside rolled down their windows and told Graydon they had candy in the back seat, trying to entice him inside. This happened only blocks away from his house. He ignored the men and only started to walk even faster away from them.
Oh,
A few seconds
God.
pass, and he makes it to his house's front porch.
Run, get inside.
His family's
Get
house
inside.
had a doorbell camera.
Get
And
inside.
as Graydon approached, you're actually able to see the car in the background.
Get inside. Hun,
continues to
get
look
inside.
over
Get
at it
inside.
as he
Get
walks
inside.
up to
Get
the front door.
inside. Hun, get inside.
He tries the front door handle, but realizes it was locked.
Oh, fuck.
At the exact same time, the car's reverse lights turn on and it starts heading towards him.
Oh, hun, run. Do you have a key? Honey, do you have a key? Oh, this little badass. Oh, you poor thing.
Graydon yells out and quickly grabs nearby rocks to defend himself.
Oh.
He then runs to his next door neighbor's house. Their door was unlocked, so he let himself in and immediately locked it behind him.
Oh,
The car
poor
can then
baby.
be seen turning around and following him. For the next several minutes, the car lurks around the area waiting for Graydon to come back outside. Police were called and a report was made. Graydon described the men as being in their 30s or 40s with no facial hair. Both Graydon's family and the police have almost no doubt in believing the men were trying to kidnap him that night.
No shit. Did you catch them? We know the
This
answer.
clip shows a mother and
but
her
at least
kids
tell
quickly
me.
packing their belongings in response to an
Holy
evacuation notice.
shit. Have we seen?
It
We haven't
happened
seen
in
this
Canyon County, California, around the time a wildfire was raging across the area. In the back of the footage, you can see it. Fire and smoke loom over the neighborhood and the hills behind. They pack as fast as they can, but they don't know how much time they have. Eventually, a man runs across the street, warning the family that the fire was coming up.
Everyone evacuate, the fire's coming up!
Get in the car. Get in
They
the car.
finally leave the neighborhood, evacuated to safety at a nearby hotel. A few days later, the fire around the home died down, and they were able to return and survey the damage. Somehow, their house remained untouched,
Still,
although the same can't be said for others in the neighborhood.
everything.
Multiple
God,
nearby
everything in that house you have to get rid of, unfortunately, because of smoke damage. If smoke got in, if you had any, like even if proper air circulation in the home, which is required when you're building a home, you probably have to get every mattress, every couch, everything. You have to get rid of it because it just sucks up all those chemicals. And for like, if you walk in your home and it smells like a campfire, you really have to get rid of most of the items in that home. That's crazy.
homes were completely destroyed by the fire. This video was uploaded to TikTok in order to warn others to be aware of their surroundings.
I hate this.
In the video, the uploader, who was a mother named JoJo and her son Daniel, are
Get in the
returning
house,
home late
kid.
at night. They open the front door and go inside. Once they close the door behind them, a man can be seen.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I hate this so. I hate the ones with kids. Women alone, I also hate as a solo woman. But the ones with kids, I'm especially like, okay, here, let me let Hermes out because he's been settling down. Let me let you out. I love you. I'll open the doggy gate. Hang on. I love you. Be a good boy. Oy. It's not the odor. It's not the odor. There's chemicals and fire and smoke that even if the items are not burned, those chemicals can still have gotten in and been sucked up by the furniture. You don't want to be exposed to that long term. Certain fires, I believe it's depending on the area or how close you are to the fire, being outside in fire, like smoke and clouds in that toxic air is the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes, even if you're just out there for 10 minutes. So if you are sucking up those chemicals and you're living around them, they can cause cancer and other things. So you do. Hi, Anarchy. What's up? We're talking about, we're watching Scary Things. What's up? Just saying hi. Hi. We're paused. We're yelling because this man just walked up. Well, this is doorbell cameras footage. So a mother and son just got inside the house and closed the door behind them. And as they were closing the door, this man that they don't know just appeared because he was following them. So I was yelling. But before this, there was a clip of a doorbell footage from a family evacuating from a wildfire. And their house survived, thankfully. But I was telling Chad about how even if their house survived, if it smells like smoke inside, they need to get rid of that furniture. Fuck that, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, Anarchy. I'm probably gonna head over early, especially because now that I know one of the Formula One teams is doing an activation at Anime Expo. Also, did you see the lads booth setup I sent you? Almost everybody not fired to add to the carcinogens from smoke are the primary causes of cancer in people exposed. Yes. Yeah, so Slapshot, what I'm saying is that even if the house survived and like you're like, oh, there's no smoke inside, you still need to have the house. It's usually not inhabitable right away. You probably need to have it deep cleaned at the very least. But also you need to get rid of most of the fabric-based like down furniture that are inside that home because they're going to suck up any chemicals. Williams is doing a Dandadan collab, apparently. I have to go to the labs booth first thing. I have an appointment. Okay, enjoy your appointment at the labs booth. Is now cancerous. Yep. So, all right. We're going to continue the video, Anarchy. I'm giving you a heads up. In case you want to see me yell at this man and talk about getting a gun. I don't know.
In the frame, walking up to the house, he immediately tries opening the door.
Nah, no. See, little boy, get inside.
Go shower really fast.
He's too
I need
close.
you to go shower.
No.
Daniel.
No. Die. Die.
Dad.
Die. Die. Die.
Jojo and Daniel engage in an argument, with Jojo telling him to go shower.
You see him
while
walking
he
up
says
by
he's
the
too
cars.
tired. Yet this doesn't drown out the clear sound of someone grabbing the front door handle only seconds after Jojo had locked in. She looks outside and sees this man. She yells out for him to leave. The man takes one step back, but stays in front of the camera.
Nah.
He doesn't respond, rather just stands there with a blank expression.
No, go away.
Who is that? Get out of here. Get out of here. There's a guy outside. Look.
No. I hate this.
It's not known where the man came from. It's hard to see with the door blocking the view.
You see him around the
Some
corner
think
in
he
an
had been
earlier
following
clip.
the two all the way back home, while others believe he was camped out next to the home, specifically waiting for them to return.
I hate this.
Either way, what he had planned to do if that door was unlocked is unclear. Jojo called the police, but the man was gone by the time they arrived.
Of course.
So it's likely we'll never be able to know for sure.
I hate this. So suddenly I started blasting.
In June of 2021, a woman posted a set of Ring camera videos to the internet. She explained how her mother had recently installed 2 Ring cameras around their house. On one of the first few nights of having the cameras, her phone would get spammed with motion-detected notifications. She reviewed them, and this is what she saw.
Ah! I'm getting a gun. Why is he is he touching his penis? What is he doing? What is he doing?
Some man was walking around the outside of the house. Though, something she picked up on almost right away was how easily he was doing it, like as if he already knew the exact layout of the outside of the house. She worried this wasn't his first time. He would walk around looking in different windows, which included hers. Seeing this, she called the cops and reported it. They later showed up, but by that time the guy was gone. There wasn't much they could do. They basically just told her to keep her blinds, curtains, and windows closed at all times. She rightfully worried he might show up again, so she set up a trap of sorts outside her window. She strung a piece of rope between 2 trees, hoping the man wouldn't see it and would trip over it, making a lot of noise, alerting her of his presence. Disturbingly, exactly a week later at 2 a.m., she would hear someone trip over the rope. Immediately, she pulled out her phone and opened the live camera feed. Standing directly outside of her window looking in was the same man from before.
No! Ah! I'm getting a gun.
After she saw this footage, she went up to her mother's room and told her about the man. The 2 of them went back to the window, opened the curtains, and started banging on the glass to scare the man off. They called the police, but once again when they arrived, the man was gone. The woman and her mother ended up moving to a new house.
I hate this.
They never heard anything more from police, leaving them to believe that he was never caught.
Of course, because that would mean something being helpful.
This doorbell footage shows the sudden explosion of a home in Arlington, Texas.
What?
It was 2 a.m. on January 1st, 2022.
Where?
When a few houses down, the giant explosion goes off.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
The explosion was reported to have been caused by a gas appliance that wasn't fully shut off. Fortunately, no one was in the home when it happened. In fact, there were no injuries resulting from the incident. However, the damage was extensive. Not only did the house suffer major structural damage, but flying debris hit nearby buildings as well.
Oh my
Residents in the
god.
apartments across the street reported blown out windows from the explosion.
God.
Parked vehicles also were damaged. The authorities received multiple calls immediately after the explosion went off. This video was uploaded to TikTok in September of 2022. The uploader said it was about 3 a.m. when his doorbell camera captured a man walking across the street. He walks directly towards the house's front porch and eventually right up to the camera, at which point you can see the man is wearing some kind of mask with a drawn-on mustache.
What? Don't like the gloves. I just saw gloves. Why are you that close to me?
The homeowner eventually woke up from all the notifications on his phone. He sees the man.
I really don't like that. I really don't like that.
And looking inside through his windows and trying to open his door. To this, he immediately threw on some clothes and went outside to confront the man.
Going outside is crazy, actually.
When he didn't find him, he opted to call the police and send in a report. Likely nothing came of this. The uploader never gave an update, but considering the man was wearing a mask, he probably won't ever be identified.
Yikes. I know we've watched so many of his videos, but let's see. Let's do the FBI has wanted.
For almost 75 years, the FBI's top 10 most wanted list has helped bring down some of the nation's most dangerous criminals. As for what makes the list special, it only features criminals that the FBI deems to be especially serious threats to society. And to get on it, you basically
Like me, no.
have to do something extremely messed up or have a very lengthy record of major crimes.
If it's a sword, that's just
The
silly.
story behind the list
I thought it was
goes
a
that
golf
back
club.
in 1949, a reporter asked the FBI to list out the 10 toughest guys that they were trying to catch so they could ask the public for help. After obtaining the list, the reporter published the criminals' pictures on the front page of the Washington Daily News, and the rest is history. Since then, the
But how many of that original most wanted list was actually captured is the question.
FBI has been able to catch almost 500 wanted fugitives thanks to public tips. These are the current criminals on the list. Bhadresh Kumar Chetanbhai Patel. On April 12, 2015, a CCTV camera captured two Dunkin' Donuts employees, one male and one female, walking towards the shop's back room at around 9:30 p.m. before disappearing from view. A few seconds later, the man comes back into the camera's view, and it seems as if nothing out of the ordinary took place in the minute that went down between the two clips.
No, I don't like
A few
this.
minutes later, customers alerted the police when they didn't see any employees in the shop, and that's when the cops discovered something horrifying. Lying on the floor of the shop's back room was an Indian woman named Palak, lifeless, who had been pummeled to death by the man in the footage.
Pummeled?
As it was later revealed, the man who took Palak's life was her husband, Bhadresh Kumar. As the authorities later learned, the couple had been through a series of major arguments in the months leading up to that day. According to court documents, the two of their visas were about to expire in a few weeks. Palak wanted to go back to India, but Bhadresh Kumar wanted to stay in the US, and it looks like he couldn't find a better way to communicate his frustration with the situation than to brutally take his wife's life. After the crime, Bhadresh Kumar was last seen taking a taxi from a hotel in New Jersey to a train station in Newark, but what he did after that is really anyone's guess. To bring more attention to a suspect who might otherwise walk away scot-free, the FBI placed him on the most wanted list.
Jesus.
As of today, there's a $250,000 reward to bring the suspect into custody, but almost 10 years after the crime, it looks like that won't happen anytime soon.
No, we're gonna find him.
Alejandro
This is
Rosales
bullshit.
Castillo. The youngest suspect
I
on
was
the
gonna
most
say, that looks
wanted
like an
list,
infant.
26-year-old Alejandro
He's
Rosales
26?
Castillo, has been on the FBI's radar for more than 8 years. In 2016, he shot his female coworker Sandy Lee in a wooded area in Cabarrus County, North Carolina.
What?
A few days later, the female victim's car was located at a bus station in Phoenix, Arizona. As the authorities later found out, there were multiple people involved in the case, with the main ones being the victim, a woman named Amia Feaster, and Alejandro himself, all of whom worked together at a restaurant in Charlotte. During the investigation, the cops learned that Sandy Lee and Alejandro had briefly dated, and after their breakup, Castillo started dating his other coworker, Amia Feaster. According to court documents, Sandy Lee had apparently lent some money to Alejandro, and on August 9th of that year, he texted her to meet up with him at a Quick Trip located on Eastway Drive in Charlotte,
I already
claiming
knew
that he was
this.
going to pay her back. Disturbingly, that's when Castillo decided
It's
to
just
rob her at
okay.
gunpoint, take her life, and flee to Mexico. In an eerie clip of CCTV footage that was later released by the authorities, the suspect can be seen crossing the Mexican border through Nogales, Arizona, along with his girlfriend Amia. A couple of months later that same year, Amia turned herself into the authorities in Mexico and was charged with accessory after the fact of felony murder and
Amia,
larceny of a
turn
motor
on him.
vehicle. Based on her testimony, she and Alejandro had been staying with the killer's cousin. At some point, Castillo had once again disappeared with no explanation, and that's when she decided to turn herself in. As of 2024, the FBI has no further clues that could lead to Castillo's arrest. Right
At the
now,
time
all
of this
they
video
know
coming
is that
out,
he's
no one's
probably
been
still
found.
living in Mexico. The last time he was seen, he wore his hair short and shaved on the sides, but that's pretty much all they have to go on. As of today, there's still a $250,000 reward out for his arrest, but there have been no further updates on his case. Before we move on, I wanted to take some time to talk about this video's sponsor, Aura, which has become stepped on stage in a beautiful red dress at the Coin Rush global event in Wembley, London to talk about her vision for the future of her crypto company, OneCoin.
Oh, I
During
think
the
I know about
presentation,
this.
she claimed that in 2 years, everyone would forget about Bitcoin and that OneCoin would dominate the crypto world as the one true cryptocurrency.
Me when I lie.
It's hard to imagine that any of her excited, applauding investors knew that they were stepping into what was later described by the New York Times as one of the biggest scams in history.
I'm pretty certain she's dead. Frankly, I think that one of her investors killed her. That's where I'm at with it. She got a lot of money from a lot of people. Not the kind of people that you fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
For several years, Ruja, or the crypto queen as she's known nowadays, promised her buyers a 5-fold and even 10-fold return on their investment in OneCoin.
No, this is not the
Normally,
rapper
these
lady.
kinds of claims are an immediate red flag, but because the entire world was scrambling to get on the crypto action, a ton of investors jumped at the opportunity without thinking twice, resulting in a massive OneCoin buying frenzy. Between 2014 and 2016, OneCoin raked in more than $4 billion from unsuspecting investors, with more than $50 million coming from investors in the
$4 billion is a
US.
fake number. That's insane.
As the investors learned when they bought into OneCoin, the company was pretty much a pyramid scheme in which they were rewarded for recruiting their friends to buy it as well. And for a while, the shady multi-level marketing model seemed to be working for Ruja. However, in 2016, a lot of her investors started complaining that they were really struggling to sell their OneCoins and that they didn't see how they'd ever recoup their investments. Word started to spread online that OneCoin was a scam, which drew the attention of the media as well as federal investigators. Unfortunately, it was a little too late by then. Less than a year and a half after
For those of you that aren't familiar, most of the instances of scammers of this nature, most of the time when they go missing, their body is found months later. She has not been found. She did make the type of money that she could make herself disappear. She could get plastic surgery. She could change her appearance, etc. But she ripped off quite a few people that they don't handle well being ripped off, you know. There's certain people you just don't fuck with, you know, like just out of common sense and self-preservation. But, you know, when you see dollar signs, it's hard to justify cutting that off, you know.
In Wembley, Ruja got on a plane from Bulgaria to Greece and was never seen again. Disturbingly, during the investigations, a bunch of really messed up emails written by Ruja were leaked by federal investigators in which the crypto queen made it more than clear that she knew she was scamming people out of their hard-earned money from the very start. In some of her emails, she admitted that the company wasn't actually mining any coins, that her coin was trash, and that her investors were idiots for trusting her. In one of her emails, she proposed an exit strategy to her partner Carl Greenwood, which consisted of taking the money, running away, and blaming somebody else for the whole thing. During the investigation, Carl ended up pleading guilty to wire fraud and conspiracy to launder money, for which he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. As it was later revealed, the FBI had been on to Ruja long before she fled from Bulgaria, even recruiting her American boyfriend to look into her company's practices for them. After learning about her extremely sketchy business practices and her grand scheme to steal billions of dollars from investors all around the world, she was charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and securities fraud. This promptly landed her a spot on the FBI's most wanted list, becoming only the 11th woman to earn that distinction. Looking into her past to find clues as to what could have influenced Ruja to do something so nefarious.
I do think she was killed. I do feel that. She could still be out there. But most of the scammers of this nature, they often end up taking money from people that have the money, which sometimes are people that are nefarious, that have a life of crime boys, if you will. And they don't like when you do crimes against them. They don't like being taken advantage of or lied to or manipulated. So it's one of the reasons that many of these people have wound up dead. And, you know, I would like that money's gone, you know, like that, like her victims will never get proper restitution. That was so much money, you know. It's not about entry. She doesn't need entry. She had a cryptocurrency. Crypto, you guys, I think some people are forgetting the boom of crypto at the time And because it was booming, everyone was jumping in on it. So literally, if she sold 10, she was making money. You know, she was defrauding people from the jump. She didn't need access to those rooms. She needed to make a crypto. That's it. She needed to mine some coins, and she didn't even do that. Like, let's not pretend that the crypto market is some highfalutin, closed off genre. They let me into these fucking spaces, and I'm an asshole. Okay, like this is not. You're thinking the Anna Delvey. How did she make it into these, you know, elite New York spaces? That's not the same thing. It's just not.
Federal investigators found some pretty interesting stuff. As it turns out, Ruja was fluent in 4 languages, was extremely intelligent, once had a job at a high-ranking consulting firm, and had been obsessed with fashion and maintaining her image from a very young age. It was only with the benefit of hindsight that prosecutors were able to clearly see how she used all these qualities to carry out her malicious plans. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the FBI will find her anytime soon. It's been rumored that after fleeing the country, the Crypto Queen may have drastically altered her appearance with plastic surgery, and is believed to travel with armed guards at all times. Disturbingly, there have also been several allegations that she was murdered by an accomplice, but this hasn't been proven. If she is still alive, the FBI suspects Ruja is traveling on a German passport to the United Arab Emirates, Bulgaria, Germany, Russia, Greece, and multiple countries in Eastern Europe. Considering how elusive she's been since her disappearance almost 8 years ago, it's unlikely the FBI will ever find out what became of Ruja Ignatova after pulling off one of the largest financial scams in history. Arnaldo Jimenez. On May 12, 2012, Arnaldo Jimenez and his wife Estrella went out to celebrate their wedding in a black 2006 4-door Maserati. Less than 24 hours after the couple had said their vows, Arnaldo knifed his wife to death in the car, dragged her into the bathroom tub of her apartment in Burbank, Illinois, and disappeared without a trace. When Estrella didn't come back to pick up her kids at school the next day, her family called the cops, who ended up finding Estrella's remains still in her wedding dress in her bathtub. Immediately, a nationwide search for Arnaldo was launched, but by that time the suspect was long gone. During the investigation, it was
Men confuse the fuck out of me. Why get to this point? Why do any of this shit? Why?
revealed that Jimenez had reached out to a friend before fleeing and told him, if anyone asks where I am, tell them I went to Mexico.
Okay, so you
Since
didn't go to
then, the
Mexico.
authorities have received multiple tips that Jimenez may have fled to Durango or Tamaulipas, Mexico,
He's not
where he's
in
believed to be
Mexico.
hiding out with family members. Initially, a $100,000 reward was issued for anyone with information that could lead to his arrest, but 4 years after he was placed on the most wanted list, the FBI increased the reward to $250,000. Burbank police have stated that in the past 12 years they've received hundreds of tips about Arnaldo's whereabouts, but none of them have led to anything significant. After the crime, investigators traced his phone and determined that he had traveled from Chicago to Tennessee, then to Arkansas, and from there to Hidalgo, Texas, very close to the Mexican border. They were unfortunately unable to determine where he went after that.
I think
Police
that's
have
red
also-
herring. I don't think he went to Mexico. Why would you tell your friend, your brother, if anyone asks for me, tell them I went to Mexico? Why would you do that? Feels red herring.
Revealed that the car in which Arnaldo carried out his heinous crime was never found.
Yeah,
If the
'cause he went to
suspect is
Canada.
ever caught, he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison for first-degree murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. But based on how things have played out since the last time he was seen, it's unlikely Arnaldo will ever pay for his atrocious crime. Vatel Ominison. As the leader of one of Haiti's largest and most violent criminal gangs, Craze Barry, Vatel Ominison, which do not let his name fool you, he is indeed not innocent, has terrorized the region for years, earning a spot on the FBI's most wanted list for his role in a string of brutal kidnappings and murders. In October 2021, he collaborated with the notorious 400 Mawozo gang to carry out the high-profile kidnapping of 17 Christian missionaries in Haiti. Disturbingly, 5 of the kidnapping victims were children, one as young as 8 months old. Held at gunpoint, the hostages were reportedly kept captive for 2 months while the gangs demanded a ransom of $1 million per hostage. It was only after an anonymous donor paid an undisclosed sum to Craze Barry and 400 Mawozo that the missionaries were finally released. Based on court documents, Innocent and his crew ended up spending the ransom money on weapons. That same year, the Haitian president was assassinated, which caused Innocent's influence to grow exponentially in the chaos that engulfed the country. In the aftermath of the assassination, Cranesbury claimed new territories and expanded their ranks quicker than the cops could even keep track of. In 2023, Cranesbury boasted an estimated 600 members, many of whom were young children who were involuntarily recruited to serve Innocent's criminal organization. Almost exactly 1 year after the kidnapping of the Christian missionaries, Cranesbury kidnapped 2 U.S. citizens under Innocent's orders, Marie Odette Franklin and Jean Franklin. Unfortunately, one of the victims did not survive, while the other was held for a $300,000 ransom. Somehow, Innocent still managed to walk away scot-free. In April 2024, CNN released an interview where Innocent brazenly showed off his luxury home, which sticks out like a sore thumb in the extreme poverty surrounding him.
Dear God.
Surrounded by gold-rimmed couches and chairs, Innocent explained to the reporter how he came to power. In the interview, he shamelessly blamed Haiti's corruption on the country's politicians, refusing to take any responsibility for his own actions. Interestingly, he also alleged that before becoming the leader of Cranesbury, he had once owned multiple legitimate businesses, including a hotel and a rental car company, but said his companies were destroyed by the government. According to multiple crime analysts, Innocent was once a political activist before he turned to violent crime to maximize his influence. Back in the US, Innocent is wanted by the FBI for an insanely long list of crimes, including kidnapping for ransom, theft, murder, assault, vehicle theft, and destruction of property. There's a $2 million reward for information leading to his arrest, but with powerful connections and an armed gang, it'll be pretty tough to ever bring him to justice. Omar Alexander Cardenas. In 2022, the FBI released 2 eerie before and after clips of a man walking into and then running away from a shopping mall area on August 15, 2019. The man seen in the video is 29-year-old Omar Alexander Cardenas, and let's just say that he didn't exactly go shopping in the time that elapsed between those 2 clips. After disappearing from the camera's view, Omar walked up to a man standing outside the Hair Icon barber shop at an outdoor shopping center and fired several rounds from his semi-automatic handgun at his head, killing him instantly. Immediately after committing the crime, Omar fled the scene a little after 4 p.m. as he can be seen in the eerie FBI footage. A suspected member of the Pierce Street Gang in Los Angeles, and often going by the nickname Dollar, Omar is suspected to have fled to Mexico to seek refuge among his relatives. In September 2021, a federal arrest warrant was issued for the suspect after he was charged with murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, thanks to which he was pinned on the most wanted billboard.
Jesus.
Even though he committed a brutal crime pretty much in broad daylight and didn't exactly shy away from the cameras after doing it, the cops seem to know surprisingly little about Omar. The only things they really know about him are that he's around 300 pounds, wears thick prescription glasses, has at least one
Guys, this is going to be really mean, but I think it goes for saying, you guys can't find a dude that's 300 pounds. How did he escape from you? How did he evade arrest? How did he do that? Do we have that shoddy of police work out here in LA? 300 pounds? I saw how he ran. He was not very fast. He's only 5'7" at most. Like, what are we doing?
And is considered armed and dangerous, which alone is hardly enough to track down a criminal who's crossed international borders to flee prosecution. With time, hopefully more information will surface leading to his potential extradition and arrest, but for now, it looks like Omar will remain a most wanted criminal. Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas. Back in the 80s, a gang known as the Mara Salvatrucha was set up to protect Salvadorian immigrants from other gangs in the Los Angeles area. Fast forward a couple of decades, and the Mara, or the MS-13 for short, had become one of the most brutal and violent criminal organizations in the world. Nowadays, MS-13 has a strong presence in El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, the US, Canada, and even Spain. They engage in all kinds of criminal activity, from drug trafficking, human trafficking, extortion, murder, and racketeering, often using extreme violence to maintain their influence and control. For many years, a man named Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas operated as the head of MS-13's criminal activities in Honduras, providing support and resources to the gang in Central America and the US with firearms, narcotics, and loads of cash. Often operating under his alias Porky, Yulan is wanted by the FBI for trafficking multi-ton loads of drugs through Honduras to the US and for the killing of several rival gang members. Among Porky's colorful criminal charges, you'll find everything from murder to racketeering.
I'm so sorry. So racketeering is like the official definition is basically like, how do I explain this? It's like gang activity, but it covers like a variety of things under racketeering. Racketeering is basically the title they give for like, hey, you're doing so much illegal shit in a certain way that it's hard for us to pin one on you and charge you with one, so we're charging you with racketeering. That's the easiest way I've seen it. I do know that they tried to get Shein on racketeering a few years back because of the way they were ripping off designs from artists and creators. And they made it basically impossible to like go after and like actually file complaints with them. So they caught a racketeering charge. I don't know if anything ever came of that. But like it's usually like, hey, there's so much shit, we can't get you on one, therefore racketeering.
Conspiracy to drug importation.
But yeah, the line I was going to say was counting or not counting gang violence.
To possession of machine guns. Even though he's only around 160 pounds, Yulan is considered one of the most powerful men in Honduras, as the MS-13 gang has had the country in a chokehold for years. The most shocking part of the story is that at one point, Porky had already been apprehended by the Honduran authorities and was even taken to a courthouse for a hearing on charges of murdering 2 Honduran prosecutors. But during the hearing, 20 armed men dressed up in the same clothes as the anti-gang police units walked into the building escorting a veiled suspect and suddenly opened fire on the guards.
Jeez.
In just a few seconds, the men subdued the guards and safely escorted Porky out of the courthouse, killing 4 police officers in the process. For obvious reasons, Porky is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Due to the sheer nature of his crimes, the FBI is offering $5 million to anyone who can provide information leading to his arrest. One of the things that makes it extremely difficult to track a suspect like Porky down is that he's taken every possible measure to fly under the radar. Although he's believed to still be in Honduras, he and his security team use untraceable numbers from Israel and Poland, and he goes to extreme lengths to keep his whereabouts a secret when he contacts his family. Although the hunt for Porky is far from over, he's likely to remain one of the most elusive and dangerous fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list for years to come.
No, let's be a little more optimistic.
Alexis Flores. One seemingly peaceful afternoon in July 2000, 5-year-old Ariana De Jesus was playing on the street in Philadelphia with her sister and friends when her mom went out for a quick trip to the store.
They're gonna kill this child.
When her mom came back, she started living every parent's worst nightmare. Ariana had been taken by a suspicious man. Immediately, her mother reported her missing, triggering a citywide search for the 5-year-old girl. In a desperate effort to bring more attention to the disappearance, Ariana's family and friends covered every neighborhood wall, light post, and stop sign with flyers and missing posters, but nobody had any clue what had happened to the little girl. Unfortunately, after a few weeks of searching, the cops found her unresponsive in the basement of an abandoned apartment building just a few blocks away from where she had been taken.
I hate this.
Disturbingly, the authorities also found a t-shirt featuring a bold political logo at the crime scene, which they deduced belonged to the suspect. During the investigation, a man came forward stating that he was pretty certain the t-shirt had belonged to...
Bold political logo? Are we talking swastika? What do you mean? A logo? Bold political... Are we talking white power? Like, what are we talking about?
...to a guy he only knew as Carlos, a drifter he had once employed as a handyman.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
but they
despite
said
the promising
body.
lead, the case went cold for several years, leaving Ariana's family devastated and...
I think that's a sharing from the AI, because it does. They said body. He's the only one that said unresponsive, so they probably found her body.
Confused. It wasn't until 2007 that the authorities were able to analyze the shirt again, thanks to recent advances in DNA technology, and what they found changed the course of the investigation forever. The DNA in the shirt was a perfect match with that of a man named Alexis Flores, who had been arrested in Arizona in 2002 for shoplifting and in 2004 for forgery. Unfortunately, by the time his DNA was linked to the crime, he had already been deported to Honduras years earlier for other, less serious crimes. As the police would later find, finding Alexis Flores was going to be a lot more difficult than they initially thought. Throughout his colorful criminal career, Alexis had provided multiple fraudulent dates of birth and names. Despite his inclusion in the most wanted list, the only things the FBI really knows about him are that Alexis is around 5'4", 130 pounds.
Hey,
and
are we just adding names to this list to fill out the 10? Because some of these should not fucking be here. Some of these names need to not be here. We, you know, like this is a heinous crime. But like, what do you mean he was? Go look for him. Is he wanted? He was, you deported him. You know where you deported him to. If you want to go find him. Oh, wait, you can't. You're a domestic agency. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
has visible scars on his forehead and right cheek. Due to his crimes, he's obviously also considered armed and extremely
5'4"?
dangerous.
Again, this is why I don't trust short men.
With a $250,000 reward on his head for the crimes of kidnapping and murder, you would think that someone would have come
Poor
forward with
girl.
information on this guy. But 24 years after the crime, Alexis has remained unfound. Wilver Villegas Palomino. The National Liberation Army, or ELN, is a Marxist-Leninist guerrilla insurgency group in Colombia, often referred to as Colombia's last true insurgency and one of Latin America's most powerful criminal
Sorry, I'm
organizations,
just skipping ahead.
running under the alias The Hog, 2013 and 2017. According to the authorities, Fields took a 14-year-old girl and offered her to his friend Ted Sartori Jr. in exchange for cash, cars, motorcycles,
Hate this.
vacations, and Christmas presents. Last known to live in Franklin County, Missouri, Fields has apparently been moving around the country since 2022, working sporadic jobs as a tree trimmer and independently selling used cars in an effort to fly under the radar. Based on court documents, it's believed that Donald probably took more than one victim, and that he might be hiding out with his girlfriend Jennifer Isgriggs, who is also wanted on a felony warrant for failure to provide child
Hate
support.
this.
Since 2022, the cops have received multiple tips indicating that Fields spent some time in the Tampa area, and as soon as they heard that, they started running Facebook ads with his face on a most wanted poster to ask for the public's assistance in locating him. Unfortunately, it's likely that by then Fields had
Shoots.
already fled to Stover, Missouri. The FBI has also placed large billboards with Fields' face in cities where he's known to travel, but so far it seems like he's managed to stay a step ahead of the cops. Earlier in 2024, Sartori, Fields' partner in crime, pleaded guilty to his charges and will face up to 30 years in prison. He'll also likely have to pay $25,000 in restitution to his victim. Based on court documents, he'll be officially sentenced in early November 2024. As per the FBI's description of the suspect, Fields has multiple scars on his body as well as a tribal print tattoo on his right shoulder. With such a big effort being made by the FBI to make this guy's face known, hopefully someday he'll be recognized by someone and promptly turned into the authorities.
Hate this.
But
Hate it. Let's see. We're gonna do one more. Okay, how about most viewed courtroom moments of all
This
time?
is Jeremy Christian, who
How
was
did we
found
get this?
guilty of murdering 2 people in Portland, Oregon. Christian was on a packed train when he suddenly broke out on a racial rant towards 2 young women. You can
Sorry?
see bystanders step in to attempt to stop Christian. Unfortunately, the situation escalated and Christian stabbed and killed 2 men and seriously wounding a third. You can see Christian fleeing the crime scene. Passengers of the train followed him and he was arrested about a mile away. During the arrest,
Holy
you can see
shit.
Christian in the back of the patrol car.
I'm happy as a mother.
They got a spit hood on him.
Died.
Christian was later found guilty of 2 counts of murder and attempted murder. Now at the sentencing, one of the victims delivers a victim impact statement, and this is where Christian has an outburst.
To Mr. Jeremy Christian, your mom should have swallowed you. You are a waste of breath. And when you die and go to hell, I hope you rot.
See you there.
What the fuck?
George 4. George 4. I should have. Everybody knows you're alive. Everybody knows you're alive.
After Christian is escorted out of the courtroom, the judge sentenced him to 2
shit.
consecutive life terms, plus more than 25 years for his other convictions.
Yeah, get fucked. Jesus.
This is Daniel Villegas. He spent 18 years in prison for a double homicide he never committed. In El Paso, Texas, Villegas was arrested at 16, where an El Paso
I hate
detective
cases
reportedly
like this.
threatened him with beatings and the death penalty if he did not confess. And the
God.
teenage Villegas signed a confession that was prepared by the detectives. He tried to withdraw his confession a few hours after, but by then it was too late. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder. With the false confession being the only piece of evidence,
16.
the jury was unable to agree on a verdict. Villegas had a retrial and the jury returned a guilty verdict, and he was given a life sentence. After spending 18 years in prison, the verdict was thrown out, and Villegas remained out on bond where he got married and started a family. But now, we're in the 3rd trial.
If the defendant will please stand.
This is the moment that Villegas will find out if he'll go
God.
home with his family or be sent back to prison to serve his life sentence.
The state of Texas versus Daniel Villegas. Verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty
Oh
of...
my god. I knew it was coming, but still. Jesus fuck. Okay.
Villegas is
God.
now a free man.
You are
God.
no longer under any conditions. You are free to leave. Thank you.
Reportedly, Villegas has
Jesus.
filed a lawsuit against
Good.
the city of El Paso.
Good. I want him to own that police station by the end of this. That's the amount of intimidation that was done to teenagers, especially teenagers that were not white in the 80s and 90s, even to this day still. But like, we hear about these cases so often, I feel, of just men that were locked up at 15, 16, 17 for life for crimes they were not even geographically capable of committing, simply for the crime of not being white. It's psychotic.
This is Austin Myers and Timothy Mosley. They were both convicted of murdering 18-year-old Justin Back in Waynesville, Ohio. The 2 men, Myers and Mosley, went to Back's house in an attempt to rob a safe that belonged to his father. During the robbery, Back was strangled with a choke wire.
Jesus.
The idea of strangling them, that way it would create no mess, pretty much be an easier job to
I don't
handle.
like that you're
Obviously,
trying not to
Justin
smile.
was trying to put up a fight, and he wasn't overpowering us.
Justin Back was then stabbed 21 times until he died.
Justin was trying to ask us why. He was pleading to stop and pretty much begging for his life.
On trial, Mosley testified against Myers to obtain a plea bargain, where he pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Finally, for Myers, he takes the stand in front of the jury, asking them to spare his life for his family in hopes of avoiding the death sentence.
If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering for another family, not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people.
This is now the father of Justin Back speaking.
I'm not going to stand up here and tell you how much I hate you. That is without question. I would just hope that every time you
God.
close your eyes at night, you see my son, Justin.
After the jury recommended the death sentence, this is Myers' last chance to plead for his life in front of the judge.
I think there's a lot of good things I can do with my life if you allow me to keep my life.
And the judge doesn't buy it. He hands down the maximum sentence.
The defendant does not understand how precious life is. Therefore, the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Austin Gregory Myers on the charge of aggravated murder.
See, I have this problem where I don't really believe in the death penalty. However, I do think there are people that should die. Like, I do think there are certain criminals that should not be breathing oxygen. And it's a very weird place to be in. It's a hard legal place to be in mentally. It's hard to fully articulate. But yeah, that's where I'm at, you know, because I am, for the most part, against the death penalty.
Nothing but a slight nod. At just 19 years old, this made Myers the youngest Ohio individual to be put on death row. He is currently awaiting his execution at Chillicothe Correctional Institution.
There were so many lives destroyed by this, and it was just for nothing. I mean, there was no money in the safe. There was nothing in there. They did this for basically nothing.
This is Michael Swanson, who was 17 when he went on a killing spree of 2 Iowa gas station attendees in the span of an hour.
Where did you shoot? On the body? Yeah. In the face. In the face? Okay. Why in the face? I thought I was just gonna shoot to injure her. Why would I shoot her at all?
Swanson.
So in case you missed that, why did you shoot them in the face? If I was just gonna shoot to injure her, why would I shoot her at all? I.e., I meant to kill her, so I shot her in the face. I don't know how you reform that. 17 years old talking like that, Yeah. Hate this.
Swanson entered a gas station in Algano, Iowa, in a ski mask and a handgun, demanding cash and cigarettes from 47-year-old Vicky Bowman Hall. Despite following the request without hesitation, Swanson still shot and killed her. An hour later, in Humboldt, Iowa, Swanson repeated the same act in another gas station, this time killing Sheila Myers. He was arrested 60 miles away from the shooting when authorities identified his vehicle. With both
we can't exile people anymore, we can't actually exile people, So it's like it's a weird
victims following his request but were killed anyways. It indicated that murder was Swanson's primary goal.
How did it feel when you pulled the trigger? I mean, some people say that it feels powerful or that it's kind of a rush. Or what did you feel when you pulled the trigger? I felt powerful.
Swanson was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of burglary. All allegations of Swanson's motives were answered by himself.
I then intentionally, deliberately, and with premeditation shot the clerk, causing her to die. I did this with a specific intent to kill her.
Now, as one of the victim's daughters gives a victim impact statement, Swanson sits completely emotionless.
How could you do what you did to my mom and my family? I want to know if you're even sorry. Are you sorry for what you did? My mom was not only completely 100% innocent, but she was also a defenseless woman when you came in with that gun. You said you did it for cigarettes and money and so no one could identify you, but I think that's a lie. You did it, as you later said on, that it was so you could feel powerful.
As Swanson was sentenced, he smiled and laughed.
Cold-blooded murder. Cold-blooded murder, young man.
He's just smiling.
You are
and
dangerous.
laughing.
You are unpredictable. Prison for the rest of your life.
Swanson was given 2 life sentences, and 4 years into his sentence, he slit another inmate's throat. This is Bryce Rhodes, who is currently on trial for 3 counts of murder in Louisville, Kentucky. Rhodes reportedly begun his killing spree when he shot and killed an innocent man, mistaking him for another individual. 2 brothers, a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, were in the car when Rhodes committed the murder. Because they were witnesses to the crime, a few weeks later, Rhodes killed those teenagers as well.
You close to these kids at all? They're cool. We play basketball. I'm cool with a lot of people. Did you hang out with them on a regular basis? It was cool. Yeah, we hung out different times, I need a lawyer, man, if you're gonna keep all in my face.
Trials have been going on for years due to Rhodes' erratic behavior, starting with blowing kisses to people in the courtroom, which included the family of the victims, and next, making hand gestures.
Ma'am, look at me, ma'am! Mr. Rhodes, you're smiling. I don't know why you're smiling.
Because I can't. It's not a crime to smile.
I would suggest you do what helps you, not what hurts you.
Okay.
That's
do what I
all.
want to do. Let's get that understood.
Rhodes once had to wear a spit mask because he spit on this attorney.
Nice cheap shot. You a coward. Nice cheap shot. You a coward. Excuse me.
Now, in another court appearance, Rhodes makes some bizarre accusations towards the judge.
I don't know if y'all got some type of sexual relationship going on. Are you some type of racist? Which one is it?
Or are you just wrong in everything that you've made a motion for?
Are you a secret Ku Klux Klan member? that what you really are?
With Rhodes' in-court behavior being out of control and him firing several of his lawyers, the trial has been extended much longer than expected. With it still in action, it's safe to say that Rhodes will not be back on the streets anytime soon. This is Antonio Barbeau, who with his best friend Nathan Pop brutally murdered his great-grandmother in an attempted robbery in
I've talked about this before because, like, I would like to have children one day. The problem is that I love my future children, especially my future daughters, and I don't want them to exist in this planet. I want better for them, you know? Like, Hermes is also upset.
Boygan County, Wisconsin.
We got in, and then I looked to Nate, he nodded, and then I took the first swing.
Okay, and when you say that you took the first swing is with the hand axe?
Yes, sir.
The boys, who were both only 13 at the time, had intended to sneak up at his great-grandmother's and rob her. But upon showing up at the house, they were spotted and invited inside. She was attacked with a hatchet and a hammer, ultimately being struck at least 27 times until she died.
She started heading into the living room falling.
And as she was falling, did you strike her again?
I hit one more time as she was falling.
At any point, did you not have the hand axe during this incident?
Right after that, Nate took it and he used it, the blade side of it.
But I was
said that he
neutered.
took
Hermes
off the
is-
sweater. By that, do you
he's
mean the
neutered,
sweater
yeah.
that you had given him?
I didn't want Hermes to be a Hollywood harlot, so Hermes is neutered.
Yes.
Why did he do that?
I think because it was getting in the way.
Getting in the way of what?
Him swinging.
They then stole $155 in cash and some jewelry before stealing the car and ditching it at a local bowling alley,
$155.
hoping to frame someone else for the crime. A few days later, both boys were arrested. Now in court, Barbeau takes the stand to testify.
We were gonna try to scare her to get money and then use force if needed.
And when you say use
bring an
force
axe?
if needed, was there a discussion about what type of force you might use?
An attack, I guess to kill.
Barbeau pleaded no contest to first-degree intentional homicide as part of a plea deal, where he was sentenced to life
Gonna
in
need to
prison
touch grass
with
after
eligibility for parole in 36 years, where he would then be 50 years old. In his final statement, his lawyer had to finish his thoughts.
I know I don't show my emotions much. I myself am not sure why, but that doesn't mean I don't.
I took away someone's mother, grandma, sister, friend, when I had no right to do so.
Pop was sentenced to life in prison as well, but with a chance of parole when he's 45 years old.
Jesus.
This is Christopher McNabb, who is facing charges for the murder of his 2-week-old child in Covington, Georgia. After the child's mother reported the baby missing to police, local law enforcement immediately launched a search. Later that night, McNabb is seen in front of TV cameras begging for his child back.
I want my kid back, man. That's my child, man. I want my kid, man.
The next day, the child's body was found in a nearby wooded area. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, which was later ruled a homicide. McNabb was arrested and charged with the murder of his own 2-week-old baby. After he was found guilty, we now move on to the sentencing. McNabb can then be heard claiming his innocence.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it. I've maintained that the whole time. I would never do this. That's all I got to say. I would never do it. I'm innocent.
And now the judge lets McNabb unknowingly choose his own sentence.
You claim you're innocent, so you tell me what sentence the man or woman that you claim did this should receive.
If you ever find out who did them, they deserve to be under the jail.
Okay, so they ought to get the maximum sentence.
Most definitely.
Okay. On the crime of malice murder, I sentence you to life in confinement without parole. On considering the death of another, I sentence you to...
After McNabb was handed down the max sentence, he was moved to Hays State Prison in Tryon, Georgia, where he is serving his life sentence. This is Susan Mellon. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole, based on an untruthful testimony. She was 42 years old when she was arrested in Los Angeles, California, at a McDonald's while taking her daughter to get a Happy Meal. But that was the last time she would see her child for 7 years, as she was charged for the murder of an ex-boyfriend.
You are under arrest now for murder.
Mellon's conviction was based solely on an informant who claimed that Mellon had confessed the killing to her. She was in prison for a total of 17 years, until the informant was proven to be a pathological liar and an unreliable witness. And now, this is the moment that Mellon's case is finally overturned.
The judgment is vacated, the conviction is overturned, and as to Miss Mellon, the case is dismissed.
From tears in one moment to jumping in joy the next. When released, Mellon took her daughter to McDonald's to deliver that long-awaited Happy Meal. The state of California awarded Mellon $597,000 in compensation, and reportedly, the law.
I need zeros attached to that, actually. Run it back. Run it back. Run it back. Okay, 12 million. Good.
Los
Jesus.
Angeles City Council agreed to pay $12 million to Susan Mellon.
Jesus.
This is Nico Jenkins, who was convicted on 4 counts of murder when he went on a killing spree in the span of 10 days in Omaha, Nebraska. At 15 years old, Jenkins was sent to a youth correctional facility and served a 10-year sentence in prison for carjacking and assault.
Speaking of Nebraska, so I have a cousin. I've never met them, nor would I have. We do have the same last name. They're like 3 generations removed, technically, so they're like 3rd or 4th cousins, this guy, okay? He is in jail for murder. I looked up his case one time, because I was just Googling my name and I found it. Or like my parent I don't speak to tried to use it as like an example of like, there's bad blood on your father's side, okay? He like was at a party and murdered someone, which bad, horrible. He was actually close to getting released not too long ago, but then his prison wife, because he married someone in prison, she tried to smuggle him drugs in the visiting area, and they caught him while he was mid-keister, i.e. he was mid-shoving the drugs up his ass to smuggle them into the actual jail itself. So he got more time added. So yeah, if you ever Google my last name, you might find that case.
A month after his release, Jenkins shot and killed 2 individuals in a robbery. 8 days later, his next victim was a former inmate he originally met in prison. He was shot and killed
I think that was only a local case though, so I do still think I'm like the most famous family member, just for the record.
in his own garage. 2 days after that, Jenkins killed his 4th victim in a carjacking. Jenkins was arrested for
When I found that, I was like, I was reading it, I was like, this is fake. Someone made this up. And then I found other news stories and I was like, holy shit, he did do that.
related charges. But it was here that cops were able to pin the ammo used in one of the killings to Jenkins.
Do you not realize I got Nico Jenkins? Do you not realize that? I got Nico Jenkins. I got you. What do you mean you got me? I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car. Sir. I got the weapon. I got Nico Jenkins.
Jenkins pleaded no contest to 4 counts of first-degree murder. He also waived his right to a jury trial, meaning a 3-judge panel will decide if he is innocent or guilty.
Each one of these murders was a deliberate and planned act. The victims were pre-selected and the murders were purposeful.
After Jenkins is found guilty of all 4 murders, he sits still with a little movement. And now comes his sentence.
Therefore, this panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
As Jenkins is sentenced to death, he seems to be completely unfazed. He is currently incarcerated at the Nebraska State Penitentiary awaiting his death sentence. This is Ryan Stone, a Colorado man that went on a crime spree that spanned 5 counties and was broadcasted live by a news station's helicopter. Stone was convicted of carjacking 3 vehicles, including one with a 4-year-old inside the SUV. Authorities said when Stone sped away, he led police on a chase at speeds over 100 miles per hour. If we rewind here, you can just barely see a vehicle that Stone was driving clipping a trooper with the Colorado State Patrol as he was trying to play stop sticks. He ended up with serious injuries. You see Stone pull out another victim from their vehicle and drive off. He heads right into a busy intersection. And now, the chase is on foot.
Unless Hermes is... Oh.
He books it off the road into a parking lot, running in between two buildings. As he slips...
See, unless Hermes is in the car, I'm giving up my car. That shit's insured. Hell, I hope you crash it. I'll get a nicer car out of it. I'm not fighting for my car back in that moment. You know, I've got good insurance.
On the ice, he loses his jacket. Cops now close in and he finally surrenders. Stone is now in the county jail, but he believes he should be getting paid for his internet fame while bragging to his friends about the high-speed chase.
Hey, did you know I made the news in the UK and Australia?
That's right. I think I remember this case. I think he tried to copyright claim the videos of his chase. He claimed it was his footage.
Yeah? What? Yeah. You get paid by YouTube. So
I remember this.
Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets paid for that. Well, I'm going to contact Channel 7 News. I want to get paid. You guys are getting paid using my name and my video footage.
During his opportunity to address the court about the recordings in jail, Stone blames it on emotional stress and the use of drugs.
We are going through trial after that. It was a week and a half trial. Extremely stressful. One of the phone calls about seeming like I was bragging about making international news, this, that, and the other. That was within the first week of being arrested.
Doesn't matter.
Still coming off of drugs.
Stone was convicted of 18 charges, including attempted manslaughter, child abuse, and assault. Then, the judge sentenced him to 160 years in prison.
Jesus.
This is Tanner Jacobson, and to his right is Cody Howard, and they're in Chehalis, Washington. They are both dressed in prisoner uniforms and handcuffed as they appear on the 3rd floor of the Lewis County Courthouse. Jacobson is in for charges of reckless driving and driving with a suspended license.
I remember this.
Howard is in for charges of 2nd-degree burglary, 1st-degree trafficking in stolen property, 3rd-degree driving with a suspended license, and 2 warrants for failure to appear in court. Right here is Judge R.W. Buzzard. It appears there are no deputies in the room. Then Howard and Jacobson door and gone. But for Howard, not that easy. Judge Buzzard caught up and captured him. Jacobson was later picked up a couple blocks away.
I only get like 4 blocks and then I stopped. Like I just stopped on my own. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
I said, what am I doing? What did I just do? I gotta go with it now. There's nothing, I can't stop right here. There's nothing I can do now. I'm screwed.
We were sitting there on the benches together.
And this is why it's important to make sure your children are going to school. It's important to make sure they're doing their homework. It's important to make sure they are applying themselves. And when you drop them off, they are in fact staying on campus. Even when you are working. Because this is a level of stupidity that can be avoided with the power of schooling.
Together and he's like, I'm gonna run. It was just a split second decision. I don't even know why I did it. I would be out of here if I wouldn't have ran.
They were both charged with 2nd-degree escape. Reportedly, Jacobson was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day, and Howard was sentenced to just over 3 years behind bars. Jesus. This is Kimberly Kessar, who was charged with the murder of her coworker in Nassau County, Florida.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Kessar was working at a Tangles hair salon under a
Okay.
fake name. She reportedly was on the run for 25 years and wanted in several states. She wouldn't be found until she brutally murdered her coworker with scissors and allegedly disposed of her body. This is Kessar after she was arrested and awaiting trial.
Are we on mute anyway, so I can say whatever the I want?
We're not on mute.
Oh, okay.
And this is what it was like to supervise her in jail.
She began to remove feces from styrofoam trays in the back of her cell and smear it on herself on the walls. She began to throw feces at Smith, Miller, and I.
Now, in the trial, she had to go to a separate room due to her outbursts.
I refuse it. I have refused it. I refuse the public defender's office. They appointed Jolie Cummings' cousin as my public defender. What, you don't want the public to know that?
And she continuously made false claims about her former public defender.
Jordan Beard is Jolie Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolie's cousin.
She was later found guilty of first-degree murder and was
Well,
sentenced
yeah.
to life in prison without parole.
So much happening here.
This is Donta Wright, who at 17 years old shot and killed a Pioneer High School student in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Wright and two others jumped and attacked the 18-year-old student in an attempt to rob him. While fighting back, he was shot in
Why
the
are you
head, and his
smiling?
body was left on a path until a maintenance worker found him. The boys were caught soon after and arrested. It was here Wright was supposed to have a pre-trial hearing, but instead he admitted to the crime in return for a plea deal.
Did you in fact rob Jordan Fleet?
Yeah.
And did you use a gun to place him in fear in order to take his property?
Yeah.
And as a result of that armed robbery, what did you do with that gun and Mr. Jordan Fleet?
Shot him.
And where did you shoot him?
Top. Isaiah.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
Now, at his sentencing, the victim's family delivers a victim impact statement.
Your Honor, my name is Courtney Clay, and I'm Karen's cousin. She's asked me to read this on her behalf. I've lost my only child, my son, my baby, my friend. More than that, I've lost laughter and love. I no longer have the hope of having grandchildren. I've lost the enjoyment of holidays and birthdays and of everyday life. There will never be an answer good enough to satisfy why you shot my son.
Wright can be seen smirking and seemingly showing no remorse.
Your actions have led you to a prison cell, but have also created an empty cell that I live in every day. While you can still hope to be released one day, I'll never escape my hell. You are still alive, but Jordan has no future.
And now, it's Wright's turn to address the court for his actions.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
And now the judge threatens to throw out the plea deal.
Watching you sit there, smile and laugh and shake your head like this was
Oh my
no
God.
big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial. And if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
After an hour-long recess, the judge and prosecution finally decided to accept the plea deal. He is currently facing a 25 to 52-year prison sentence.
Jesus.
This is Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari, a religious
Oh.
farming couple living in Cedar Springs, Michigan, and they are charged with murder of their 10-month-old girl, Mary Welch. Reportedly, they told police they noticed the baby was skinny and underweight, but did not seek medical attention because of their religious beliefs and mistrust of medicine and the government.
Oh, is this
This is the
wait.
911 call of the father
This is
when
the
he
case.
reportedly
I
found
may
his
have heard
child
of this
dead.
case.
How long ago did you find this child?
It's about an hour and a half. I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I could do.
So you found the child an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
And called your lawyer first, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time you had contact with a child?
Last night, yesterday afternoon, about 3 p.m. She goes to bed.
No, that you're thinking. No, different case. And I think.
Okay, so you put her to bed yesterday at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, and then this morning at like 10.
So you're saying it is normal for your children to sleep from around 3 p.m. till 10 a.m.?
Usually about 9:30, yeah.
And you said when you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you consulted with a lawyer?
Yep.
Do you believe she was beyond help already?
Oh, yeah, she was dead.
I did hear about this case. I think I listened to this case on Nancy Grace's podcast, and they played that audio. I remember that audio very distinctly. But they also, what I like about when I used to listen to Nancy Grace's podcast is she would bring on medical experts and various experts for different cases to talk about it. And I believe she brought on a adolescent, not even adolescent, a baby, basically just someone that it could explain, like, hey, when a child is starving, they don't just like starve, like babies wail. Like, there's no way that this kid silently died of starvation within 12 hours. Like, there's no possible way. This child was wailing for food up until the very last couple of hours. And yeah, I hate this case.
After the autopsy revealed that the cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration due to neglect by the adult caregivers.
Oh.
And this is the moment they realize they will be spending the rest of their life behind bars.
That you're both charged with what they call felony murder while in the perpetration or attempted perpetration of child abuse in the first degree. They're alleging that you murdered one Mary Welch. That is a charge called homicide felony murder. It is life without parole. It requires a DNA sample to be taken upon arrest, which is often like a cotton swab or in the inside of your cheek. The second offense that you're both charged with is called child abuse in the first degree, where they're alleging you knowingly or intentionally caused serious physical harm to a child. They're talking about this.
It was neglect. There's no why. There's rarely a why. It was neglect. They just weren't taking care of their baby. There's never a why.
Mary Welch. It is a felony, possible penalty of up to life imprisonment or any term of years less than life.
This is Damon Kemp. He is charged with the double murder of his roommates in Daytona Beach, Florida. Police were called to investigate a burglary at an apartment complex, and it was here Kemp allegedly confessed to the murders. He was originally staying with his two roommates when both individuals were shot several times in the apartment. During Kemp's bond hearing, he's now escorted into court in a wheelchair.
Okay.
The judge tries to get Kemp's attention, but he's completely ignored.
Mr. Kemp? God! Damon Kemp, I'm going to conduct your first appearance.
For the victim's family, it got so tough they had to walk out. Kemp is currently in the Volusia County Jail awaiting his trial. This is Eric Kelly, who was sentenced to life in prison for a robbery and murder he did not commit in Passaic County, New Jersey. Kelly was 28 when he was taken into custody after a man was killed working at a video store. Kelly suffered a tragic brain injury, making him suffer a cognitive disability, and he had trouble processing information from detectives and allegedly admitted to the crime, even though he had not done it. Despite no physical evidence, he was convicted and put in prison. It wouldn't be until 24 years later the case was reopened, and major advancements in DNA testing proved that Kelly was not at the crime scene.
Therefore, in light of the foregoing reasons, the motion for a new trial is hereby granted.
A new trial was granted, and Kelly is now outside of prison for the first time in almost a quarter century, still with the fear he might go back.
My legal team, I want to thank them. I want to thank my family. Just want to get back to like actually living for once.
Surprisingly, the prosecution later dismissed all pending charges against him. Kelly reportedly received $1 million in state compensation.
Sue. Time to sue. Oh, we need more. Okay, I'm gonna raid out, I think. Let me see. Twitch. This fly, I swear to God. I have like one fly that lives up here. That likes to annoy me. Let's see. Okay, never mind. No raids. We're just gonna wrap it up. Okay, it's 8:30. I'm gonna eat a snack for bedtime. I'm gonna try and walk Hermes and then go to bed. Alrighty. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you soon. Bye.